All are requested to keep their video and audio in mute position. Hemanta Sahu, keep your video in mute position. Otherwise, I will make you out. Okay, madam. Now we can start.
Yes. Very good evening to all of you. I am here Susmita Patnaik presenting you the two more important topics. That one is the fascism and second one is the libertarianism. So this topic, I choose this topic for you because these are the most two important topic and both are the opposite of one to another. So if you understand about the fascisms, then you can say that that opposite of the fascism, that is called as libertarianism. So let's start about the fascism. So in fascism, we have to complete about the origin of fascism, when it has been originated, the definitions given by the fascist, the meaning of fascisms, the genesis, the features, the principles, merit and demerit. So here we know that the fascism is an idea that has been originated by Benito Mussolini and it has been applied in Italy. So as a fascist idea, the Benito Mussolini has its source from social Darwinism, and the social Darwinism means what? जो तुमर जो थिला जो जैव विवर्तन बा तुमर जो जीव जगत जो विवर्तन डार्विन को जो थ्योरी थिला से डार्विन को थ्योरी जो नीचे से लिखी थिले से थ्योरी रो बेनिटो मुसोलिनी कोन करथिले ताकर इफेक्ट पड़थिला. मेन फोकस तुमर फैसिज्म रो थिला इरेशनलिज्म, ट्रेडिशनलिज्म, आइडियलिज्म्स. मोटो कौन थिला? माय प्रोग्राम इज एक्शन नॉट टॉक. And the idea of fascism that was prevailed in Italy, that was the period in 1922-1943. So here, before we have to proceed about the definitions of fascism, we should stress here that the fascist idea that was borrowed by Nietzsche, who is the main propounder of the theory of irrationalism, traditionalism and idealism. So you may ask me about what is the meaning of the irrationalism. Irrationalism is nothing but it is called as that the dressing on science, not upon your ideas. It says that the persons should not think, but he should what? He should act. That is the persons of the irrationalism. There will not be any type of the rational idea. The idea of a person that is called as the factual. The thing your Nitaji says that the person should believe upon which one, that is called as that the virtual world. It means that whatever the material जो जिनसटा को तमे देखुचो से जिनसटा को तमे बिलीव करो. जो जिनसटा तमे भाबुचो जो रीजन स्पिरिट ए सब जिनस तमे भाबुचो, you should not be believed. And for these things, what happened that he is the great follower of your Plato, Aristotle, and Machiavelli. When what will happen? The Machiavelli, Aristotle, and Plato, every political philosopher says that the person should believe upon matter, not upon the idea. Because idea is what? It is called as an abstract thinking. In idea, the persons may think, but he will not give the idea into a concrete shape. In order to give the idea into a concrete shapes, the initiations, the knowledge, and everything is required by a person. So the main source of the theory of fascisms that has been derived from the Nietzsche, who focus upon the first thing that is called as irrationalism. Irrationalism means what? जोड़ा को तुम साइंस ऊपर जोड़ा तुम बिलीव कर जेमी तुम सपोज देखो गोटे तुमरो सपोज भूत अछि ना नाही. ओके भूत होचे कोन गोटे तुमरो आइडिया बा तुमरो थिंकिंग जो लोक देखुचंदी ताकू लागियो इट इज ए मैटर. ओके मैटर मींस व्हाट? जो जिंस को तुम फिजिकली टच करि परिबो किबा ता सहित तुमरो तारो फीलिंग करि परिबो. ए पर्सन्स God, you have a feeling upon the God, so that is called as what? That is called as rationalism. Okay, so something is that sometimes you may believe, sometimes you may feel. So here what will happen, that is called as that the you should believe upon the science, not upon the idea. Idea is what? That is called as that the factual. ओके एवरीवन हैज द आइडिया जेमते आमे कहूचे जे पृथ्वी गोल पृथ्वी चारिकोणिया किंवा पृथ्वी तमर ट्रायंगल शेप रे जति तमे साइंस जति प्रूफ करि देला देन यू शुड हैव बिलीव ऑन इट. Then the next one is called as that the traditionalism. What do you mean by the traditionalism? Traditionalism says that whatever the concept always based upon the traditions. Traditions means what? That is called as the customs. And the third one is called as the idealisms. Idealism means what? That is called as the vastavikota. Okay, so from these three concepts of the Nietzsche, the Benito Mussolini has proceeded his theory that is called as that is called as that the fascist theory. So here the main motto of the Benito Mussolini theory is that the main motto was my program is action, not talk. ମୁଁ खाली कथारे विश्वास करेनी मु कामरे विश्वास करे जोथरे मोर काम मु लोक माने कोन करती बेले बेले कोन करती बहादुरी मारी के कथा आशा करती. So then I was not believe upon the what the word, I was believe upon the what that is called as the action, that is called as the performance. मु कार्य रे मु काम रे सब बेले मु कोन करे मु बिलीव करे मु कथा रे केबे हेले बिलीव करे नाही. So from this motto, so here what will happen, the your Mussolini has applied the theory of your fascism in Italy in between the 1920 to 1943. So before we are proceeding about why the your theory of the fascism was originated, so we should have knowledge about that. Before the fascism is an idea that was arrived in between the First World War and Second World War. So we know that we have the war in between 1914 to 1918, and it was from 1939 to 1945. So the concept was developed. Why the concept was developed? There were so many causes for the development of the theory of which one that is called as fascist idea. Okay, so before we are proceeding about the why the fascism has been developed, so we have to cover about what are the different type of the definitions that was given by the different political thinkers. Is it doubt nahi to pilane? Okay, so here the first definitions was given by the Sanders. He says that the fascists are gypsies of Italian politics, not being tied down to any fixed principles. They proceed unceasingly towards one goal. So here what do you mean by gypsies? Gypsies means what? They are called as the traditional nomads peoples. In Italy, there are some persons, they are called as that the traditional your nomads people. Nomads people means what? That is called as that the people that are traveling from one part to another parts. They are not occupying a particular your territory or particular place for their livelihoods. Where they are satisfied, they will travel. जोठू ताको भल लागे से जाको जेमति तमे जानिचो एठी एबे जो ओडिसा रे जो कोन जो कहउचन से माने डुबडुबा लोक किबा तमरो जो कहउचंती जो ए जो माने जो गीत बाजा करी कि सब जाको माने पैसा काढंती. So these are called which people? They are called as that the nomads. आज एठी भल लागिला सेठी किछि बिक्री कर देबे सेठी पैसा करिवे अन्य जगह जिबे गोटे छेड़ीटे धर दिबे किछि तांगर पो झियो को धरि करी बुलाबली करते. So these peoples are called the nomads peoples. Same peoples माने कर कोन कहले the fascists are the gypsies of Indian politics. Italian politics. Not being tied down to any fixed principles. से कहउचन तांकर कोनो से गोटे fixed principle नथिला. They proceed unceasingly towards one goal. गोटे जिंस को डायरेक्टली से गोल को अटैक करिया पे से माने जानते आ तांको के uninterrupted there will not any person who will interrupt the fascist, and they will try to achieve the one goal, and that goal what that is called as that to establish a state upon the totalitarian ideology. Then Mussolini says that my objective is simple. Mussolini say my objective is simple. I want to make Italy a great, respected and feared I want to render my nations worthy of a noble and ancient traditions. I want to accelerate her evolutions towards the highest forms of national corporations. I want to make greater prosperity always possible for the whole people. And I want to create a political organizations to express, to guarantee, and to safeguard our development. Thus, for the fascists, the glorifications of Italy with strong and vigorous government and prosperous people was the chief aim. So here what will happen? Mussolini underlined three words. The one is called as that a strong government, and the second one is called as that the prosperous peoples. Strong government means what? It means that he says that the government should be simple, but the government should guide the people, and the people within the tight world they will lead a happy life, a glorified life, and they will lead the life that is called as a prosperous life. से कौन कहले एमिति गोटे लाइफ जो इटाली रे मु रहिया को चाहूची मोर ऑब्जेक्टिव थिला फासिस्ट माध्यम रे एमिति गोटे लाइफ करिया पे जोठी कोन हबो ना तमरो राज्य बा राष्ट्र जो थिबो राष्ट्र समस्त को बांधी की रखिथिबो टोटलिटेरियन स्टेट माने जोडार राइट पीपल रो राइट बोली किछ नथिबो जो राइट टा को स्टेट पाखरे सब जिंस तार थिबो किंतु कोन हबो से स्टेट शुड बी रेस्पेक्टेड बाय द पीपल से स्टेट को लोक माने रेस्पेक्ट देउथिबे not by the fear but they have respected. Sometimes they are fear but sometimes what will they have to respect, and they will lead their life, and that life is called as glorified life. Glorified life means what? A happy life. Then the next one, that is called as Rocco, who says that the fascism is a new conception of civic life. What do you mean by the new conception of civil life? Civil life means what? A powerful, innovating movement and the beginning of a new cultures. It be civil life means what? A life which repudiates democracy, liberalism, and socialism. Okay, so a life that repudiates the democracy, liberalism, and socialism. Because fascism does not believe upon the democracy, the socialism, and the liberalism. What do you mean by the democracy? Democracy means give the people to rule themselves. Socialism means what? The means of production should be owned by the what? Which one? The people, the society, the people. That is called as the socialistic state. And the last one, that is called as the liberalisms. Liberalism means what? The people should enjoy the much more freedom as they want. So Mussolini objected these three principles, that is called as the democracy, socialism, and liberalism. And he wants to build one state, a state that is called, that should be simple and that should be respected either by the fear or by like the wishes of the persons, free wishes of the persons. निज इच्छा रे हो किंबा डर रे हो तमे गोटे राष्ट्र को निश्चित भाव में सम्मान देबा आवश्यक. आ जो राष्ट्रटा कोथि पे ठिया हितिबो अगेंस्ट गणतंत्र, अगेंस्ट समाजवाद, आ अगेंस्ट तमरो लिबरलिज्म बा तमरो स्वतंत्रता. Then Rocco says that fascism is new conception of civil life. So it was covered. Okay, fascism is the new conception of civic life. So among the political philosophers, or maybe called as the fascist leaders, who says that the fascism was an idea, it has been originated by the nomads people of Italian politics. They have one objective. They want to achieve the objective directly or indirectly, or maybe called as violently or maybe non-violently. They are not establishing any type of the means how they will achieve. They will believe upon the action, not upon the words. They will believe upon the what? That is called a science, not upon the ideas. And they says that the people should be respect to the state either by fear or by the free wishes. So these are called as the definitions, and these definitions I conceptually define these definitions into one group. मु total definition को तमरो गोटे group रे मु तमको define करके कहली. कौन कहली ना प्रथम हैला fascist गोटे ए आइडिया जोटी के कोन से माने विश्वास करथिले जोडा इटालियन रो नोमाड्स पीपल द्वारा सेटा आस्तिला, जोडा केतरा फिक्स्ड प्रिंसिपल्स थिबो जो प्रिंसिपल को लोक माने अचीव करिया को चेष्टा करथि. को माने fascist माने ଆଉ जो प्रिंसिपल्स ପାଇଁ କୌଣସି means ନଥାଏ, they only what they only targeted towards the ends। ଆମେ ଯେମିତି ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ସପୋଜ ପରୀକ୍ଷାରେ ପାସ୍ ହେବା କିମ୍ବା ପରୀକ୍ଷାରେ 90% ରଖିବା, ସେଟା ହଉଛି ଆମର କଣ ଗୋଟେ ଟାର୍ଗେଟ, that is our end। means କଣ, means ପଜିଟିଭ ଅଛି ନେଗେଟିଭ ମଧ୍ୟ ଅଛି। पॉजिटिव रे कौन, if you will do better, if you will preparing the notes or maybe listen to that lecture or to anything else, that are the positive ideas जफल तुम कौन परीक्षा रे 90% रखियो। नेगेटिव आइडिया कौन, तुम सपोज तुम पेपर जोटी वैल्यूएशन चलची ता गोड़ धर देलो, ताको लफेटा दे देलो, ई जिंसोडा कौन तुम नेगेटिव आइडिया। କିନ୍ତୁ ଫାସିଷ୍ଟ ଗୋଟେ ଏମିତି ଆଇଡିଆ ଯୋଉଟା କି ତମର କୌଣସି ଗୋଟେ ମିନ୍ସ କୁ ସେ ବିଲିଭ, ସେ ଚାହୁଁଥିଲା କଣ ନା କେବଳ ଏଣ୍ଡ ଉପରେ ସେ ବିଲିଭ। ଏଣ୍ଡଟା କଣ ନା that is called as a strategic state, a totalitarian state, a corporate state। जो स्टेट रे कौन ना तार प्रति इंडिविजुअल रो राइट, प्रॉपर्टी, लिबर्टी सब जिंस का पाखरे थिबो, स्टेट पाखरे थिबो। ओके, सेकंड जिंस कोन हला, फासिज्म रो जो प्रिंसिपल जाक थिला से प्रिंसिपल जाक सब सिंपल थिला, जोडा को कोन थिला ना तमरो डेमोक्रेसी बा तमरो गणतांत्रिक, गणतांत्रिक कहले कोन ना फासिज्म जो आइडिया तमरो इलेक्शंस बा तमरो राइट टू वोट, राइट टू कॉन्टेस्ट, ए सब जिंस गुडा को लोकों का हाथ रे से देबा को चाहू नथिला। सेकंड जिंस होचे सोशलिज्म। व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय सोशलिज्म? द मोटो ऑफ सोशलिज्म इज टू एस्टैब्लिश अ वेलफेयर स्टेट। What do you mean by the welfare state? Welfare state means what? The state which guarantee the welfare of the individual। जो स्टेट रे गोटे इंडिविजुअल रो रहिबार, खाइबार, बसिबार, जीवन धारण कर सब जिंस गोटे जिंस आराम रे जी अतिबाहित करे, that is called as a welfare state। It means that the main motto of the state is towards the individual। But here fascist conception is that the individual should be directed towards the state, not the state is directed towards the individual। Okay, so these are the concepts that has that definitions that has been defined by the political philosophers। Then in the next slides we have to say about that Italian fascisms, because we know that in Italy the fascist idea that has been raised in between the period of 1920 to 1943, and it was raised by the help of Benito Mussolini। तो गोटे जिंस तुमको कहवा को भूलिली जे जो फासिस्ट आइडिया, व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय द फासिज्म? फासिज्म मींस व्हाट, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज दैट द बंडल ऑफ रॉड्स विथ एन एक्स। ओके, तमरो एटा नोट्स रे भी नाही, जोडा को फासिज्म माने कोन होची, दैट इज कॉल्ड the fascism is an idea that has been originated from the word that is called as fascist, and it has the meaning is that the bundle of rod with an x। तमर जते रड टा को कोन होची, गोटे तुमको बांधी की रखा हबो टाइट रे, तापर गोटे एक्स थिबो, एक्स माने कोन ए एक्स ई। ओके, से एक्स ऊपर तम ता माने गोटे बलपूर्वक भागरे तुम टाइट करी गोटे तमर तार इट इज ए कॉल्ड एज दैट व्हाट इज द सिंबल ऑफ स्ट्रेंथ, the symbol of fear, the symbol of strength, whatever may be, you understand, that is called as the bundle of the rod with an axe। ओके, जो तमरो गोटे तमरो काठ जो बांधु जो लॉक जो रहउची तमरो जो काठ, से काठ ऊपर तुम एक्स्ट्रा करिवो, that is called as what, that is called fascism। So here the idea of fascism that was applied in Italy in the period of 1922 to 1943 under the leadership of Benito Mussolini। Mussolini claimed to have been the founder of fascism, and it also owned the support of Italians who were anti-socialist। Fascists owned the support as an alternative to the unpopular liberalism of that time। So you may ask me that why your concept of fascism has been erased. One thing is that after the First World War, the main thing is that there is the fear of the establishing of the democracy all over the your world। लोक डरिले कोन ना गोटे जो डेमोक्रेसी जो कॉन्सेप्शन जो थिला से कॉन्सेप्शन टा होल वर्ल्ड को जोटा स्प्रेड न होई जाओ। सेकंड दिन जो हला कोन द थिंग ऑफ कैपिटलिज्म, जो फासिज्म को रेज करिया पे कोन थिला ना कंट्री निश्चित भाबरे धनी हेबा को निश्चित भाबरे आवश्यकता थिला। Okay, so the negations of the democracy, the negations of the socialism, these things diverted the Benito Mussolini to establish one theory that is called as the fascisms. Okay, so you may call it as that. What is the differences by Nazism and fascism? We know that fascism is in Italy and Nazism is where? That is in Germany. Okay, so Nazism, there is no differences between the Nazism and the fascism, but there are some little differences in between them, because the fascism idea borrowed from the Nazism, and the Nazism is also supported the fascism. Okay, Nazism have a stronger emphasis on the race, while fascism held that the cultural factor is necessary to solve the state. So, what is the meaning of this? Because Nazism says that if the race factor, what do you mean by the race factor? Race factor means what? That is called as the caste. Okay, so he says that the casteism is the main basic principles for establishment of a state. The main basic principles. ओके, लेकिन तमर जो फैसिज्म आइडिया थिला जोडा के कोन कहला ना कल्चरल फैक्टरटा निहाती दरकार थिबो गोटे राष्ट्रर गठन पाई। मु तुमको आउट डिटेल्स से नेक्स्ट स्लाइड रे तुम कहबी तुम बुझिबो। ओके, then next one is called that Nazism is the main scope of the Nazism, that is called as the people. लोक सी कोन कहतला ना जदी पीपल नाहांती किंबा तब जदी नोमड्स पीपल नाहांती ताले फासिस्ट आइडिया केबे हेले हेई परिबो नाय. So these are the basic differences between the Nazism and the fascisms. So we have already completed these slides. Why fascism has raised in Italy and Germany? First of all, there was the failure of democracy after the First World War, and there is a fear among every nations that whether the democracy will be a supreme force or maybe called as a prevailing force in every nations. So, in order to eradicate democracy, the fascist idea has been established in the world. Then second one, whatever the betrayal was given to the Germany and Italy in the First World War, it gives an opportunity to establish the fascist ideology in the contemporary world. And the third one is called as that the capital-rich country, okay, they provided the rich raw material to boost up the idea that is called as the fascism. So three things are the main prime factor to rise the fascism idea. ଏ ତିନିଟା ଜିନିଷ ଥିଲା जो तीनटा जिनस कहि मेन डिफरेंट बिटवीन नाजिज्म एंड फासिज्म कहि सो तीनटा जिनस जो थिला ए तीनटा जिनस कोन थिला नाजिज्म और फासिज्म आइडिया को कोन करथिला डेवलप करथिला गोटे हला जो जर्मनी और इटाली रो जो बेट्रायल हेतिला सेकंड जिनस होची फियर ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी जो थिला एंड थर्ड होची कोन ना तमरो कैपिटलिस्ट वर्ल्ड ओके कंट्री विथ कैपिटल जो तमरो जो पूंजीपति राष्ट्र माने फैसिस्ट आइडिया को डेवलप करिया पे बहु मात्रा रे समान रॉ मटेरियल देथिले सो तीनटा कार्डियर कारण जोगो हमरो फैसिज्म रो डेवलप हेतिला सुस्मिता पांडे तुमको बुझा पड़ला नाजिज्म एंड फासिज्म Nazism, fascism, बुझा पड़ला Nazism differed from Italian fascism in many grounds. Suppose on race, in terms of social and economic policies, etc. The Nazism differed from the fascisms. Because why? Then in the Nazism theory, the Nazism believe upon the race. So if in our next slides, we are having the Hitler's classification of the race, by where you can easily clarify about why or how the Nazism has been different from the ମୁଁ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ଟେ ବନେଇଛି जोटी तमरो रेस रो डिफरेंसेस रा देइछि जोटी तमे जानि परिबो जो फैसिज्म थिला जो रेसिज्म को ताको सपोर्ट करनथिला किंतु नाजिज्म टा तमरो रेसिज्म को सपोर्ट करथिला ମୁଁ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍ଲାइड बनेइछि तमे देखि पारे कौन लिखिछ who established Nazism जाननो रे Hitler okay then in our next slides we have one more important thing that is called as that the fascist idea of state and individual. Who the fascist? The state is the state is the first or the individual is the first? Who is the much more important? राष्ट्र प्रथमे ना व्यक्ति प्रथमे? Okay, fascist manako pai the state is more than the individual. To the state is called as that the collections of individual. Okay, so to them the state is the end and the individual is the means. The individual is name, the individual are the means. The total individual, they are the means for the state. The state is a corporate state. The politics, economics, arts, literatures, educations of the peoples or the states, they have to gear towards the need of the state. What is the meaning of this? Take for example, the state is more than the individuals. What do you mean by the state is the more than the individuals? Because to the fascist, the state is more than the slum of individuals. Slum of individuals means what? That is called as that the collections of individuals. It says that the state is exist prior to the individual. राष्ट्र गोटे एमती जिनस जोटा कि व्यक्तिर आसीबा पूर्वरु राष्ट्र संगठित होइतिला. If there is the development of the state, then what will happen? There is the development of the individual. 1 minute. If there is the development of the state, then what will happen? Basically, it is the development of the individual. So the individual should not think himself or herself personally for their own betterment. They should think collectively for the state. It means that they are the means for the end, and the end is called as the state. Then the next one is called as that the state is a corporate state. What do you mean by the state? This corporate state is nothing but it is called as a type of a corporations or maybe called as a totalitarian state. A state which always do good things, not do any type of wrong things for the individual. जोटा तमर राष्ट्र करे सेटा सब बळे लोकंकर भलो पाई ही करिवो केबे हेले खराब पाई करि परिबो नाही. So this is that just like is that Hitler's Hegel says that the state is the march of God on earth. The state is the march of God on earth. पृथ्वी उपरे राष्ट्र गोटे एमिति गोटे जिंस जोटा कि भगवान सदृश्य माने भगवान निजे आसिकरी राष्ट्र बनेगी जाइछन्ती. So the state never do any wrongs for the individuals. Okay, so just like is your Hegel says, or maybe called as that your Plato state, or maybe Aristotle says that the state is the basic for the individuals because the state is required, which will provide the individuals the liberty and protect the security of the individual. So this is the fascist idea regarding the state. And what is the idea of the your fascist regarding to the individuals? He says that the individuals should always, they have to forget their own interest and they have to work for the group interest. If they will work for the group interest, then what will happen? It will serve to the interest of the state. And the second thing is called as that they have to subordinate their own subordinate their interest to their state interest. जो तांकर निजर इंटरेस्ट थिबो से इंटरेस्ट राष्ट्र इंटरेस्ट पाखरे से माने बलिदान देबाको से मानको पड़िबो. So this is the fascist idea regarding the state and the fascist idea regarding the individual. Okay, then one thing is called as that the fascist also believe that the imperialism is the eternal and immutable law of life. If there is no imperialism, then what will happen? The state cannot exist. So whatever may be the economics, whatever may be the art, whatever may be literatures, educations, everything, it should be applied for the development of the state, not for the individual. जदि तुम राजनीति कल राजनीतिटा राष्ट्र पई करिवो एबे वर्तमान रे कोन होची लोक माने राजनीति निज पई करचोंती निज पई माने कोन के 20 लाख टका मिलिबो 20 कोटी टका मिललो ब्रिज टे कल सेटे अधिक पैसा सेटे कोन होची लोक निज पई निज राजनीति करचोंती जोडा राजनीतिर वर्तमान डेफिनेशन कोन होची पॉलिटिक्स इज अ लास्ट रिसोर्स ऑफ ए स्काउंड्रल जेतल जो लोकों को कोनोसी जॉब न मिले से लोक माने कोन करती राजनीति रे पार्टिसिपेट करती केबे हेले तमे देखिबो भलो लोक माने राजनीति रे नथिबे माने क्वालिफाइड पर्सन जो क्वालिफाइड पर्सन जिमि तुम केजरीवाल गोटे क्वालिफाइड पर्सन को लोक पागल तळे कर देबे एठी कोडी चा बिकिया वाला कोडी पान बिकिया वाला किंबा किए कोडी मैट्रिक फेल हेतिया वाला तुम स्मृति रानी टाइप ए टाइप रे लोक वर्तमान कोन करचंती दे आर द लीडर ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स से माने कोन करंती निज पई काम करंती से माने देश पई केबेले काम करि परिबे नाही किंतु सेट नोशन कोन थिला जदि तमे पॉलिटिक्स ता राष्ट्र पई करिवो निजर इंटरेस्ट को सबऑर्डिनेट करिवो राष्ट्र इंटरेस्ट पई ताले कोन हो स्टेट ता सब बेले लोकों को सब बेले प्रॉफिट ता दबो बा द इंडिविजुअल विल बी द बेनिफिशियरी इन दैट स्टेट तमर सांस्कृतिक क्षेत्र रे हो शिक्षा क्षेत्र रे हो आर्ट क्षेत्र रे हो कोनोसी क्षेत्र रे हो ए सब जान को जिंस कोथि पई हो राष्ट्र पाई ही तमरो गिएड हेबा परिबो बा तमरो कार्य करिया को तमरो परिबो सो दिस इज द फासिस्ट आइडिया ऑफ द स्टेट टुवर्ड्स द इंडिविजुअल डिफिकल्ट लागो छी रे कुछ डिफिकल्ट लागो छी स्टूडेंट आई एम आस्किंग यू कल्पना तुम डिफिकल्ट लागुनी फासिज्म टा टिके डिफिकल्ट बुझुची तो नले कहि होबने म आउरी स्लो रे पढेबी किछ असुविधा नै ओके then in our next that is called as that the genesis of fascism in the genesis of fascism genesis means what that is called as that the concept that is related with the fascisms what are the different contents of fascism the one thing is called as that the theory of reaction okay so what do you mean by the theory of reactions the fascist says that the fascists believe upon the theory of reactions counter revolutions repudiates individualism anti-liberalisms establishing the monopoly of nation state not supporting the international organizations rejects the concept of class conflict in the favor of organic unity of the nation state so the first of all the one thing is called as that the theory of the reactions so here the what do you mean by the theory of reaction theory of reactions means says that if the fascist state says that if there is anything wrong was done then you should react you should not accept जदि कोनोसी जगह रे कोनोसी प्रकार जदि कोनोसी भूल हेई थाय पारे ताले फासिस्ट कोन कोए ना सेठी तमे रिएक्ट कर ओके सेकंड थिंग हला कोन द फासिस्ट डॉक्ट्राइन it is a reaction against the democracy socialism and communism okay so it is a reactions on two things the one is called as that the individual's reactions and the second one is called as that the social reactions in the individual reactions means what if you will see any wrong to you then you have to react you should not accept जदि कोनोसी जिंस तमे कोनोसी भूल हेबार देखिलो ताले संगे संगे से जिंस को तमे रिएक्ट करियो सिखो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द थ्योरी ऑफ रिएक्शंस जिमे तमरो कहला तमे न्यूटन कोन कहला एवरी एक्शन हैज ए अपोजिट रिएक्शन सेम एंड अपोजिट रे कोनोसी भी जिंस हैला तो फटास के ता रिएक्शन ता दियो से एक्शन को तमे केबे हेले कोन केबे हेले ताको एक्सेप्ट करो ना इफ दिस इज ए रॉन्ग एक्शंस and it says that it is against what the social reactions the theory that is the genesis or it has been raised against the social reactions the social reactions means what it is called as that the reaction against the democracy the reaction against the socialism and the reaction against the communisms the fascist theory that is a reactions against the communism theory and the second one that is called as the theory of counter revolutions so you may ask me about that what do you mean by the theory of the counter revolutions counter revolution signifies that the fascism began as a movement demanding revolutionary changes in the social and political structure of Italy it says that the fascisms it always demands the revolutionary changes, the counter revolution. Counter revolutions means what? There are different type of the your revolutionary ideas are there. So the fascism applies the changes in the revolutionary ideas, and that idea should be built for the social and the political structure of the Italy. ଆମର जो पॉलिटिकल स्ट्रक्चर थिला बा सोशल स्ट्रक्चर इटली रे थिला से इटली रो पॉलिटिकल और सोशल स्ट्रक्चर को बनेया पाई जो रिवोल्यूशंस रो जो आइडिया थिला से आइडिया को कोन कला द फासिज्म आइडिया कोन कला चेंज कला. So this is what this is called as the theory of the counter revolutions. The theory of counter revolution means counter means here that is called as the changing of the revolutionary ideas. That is called as the theory of counter revolutions. And here what will happen, it says that it developed into a force against the revolution itself, especially against the revolutionary force of the communism. So it is a force, or fascism is a force which counters the revolutions and which gives the changes towards the means of the revolutions, and he adopted different the new ideas towards the revolutions. The third genesis of the fascism, that is called as that it repudiates what that is called as individualism. It repudiates what that is called as that individualism. What do you mean by the individualism? Individualism is nothing but it is called as that giving emphasis to the what to an individual. ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲ କୁ ଏମ୍ଫାସାଇଜ ଦିଆଯାଏ that is called as that individualism ମାନେ କଣ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଗୋଟେ ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିର ବ୍ୟକ୍ତିତ୍ୱକୁ ବିକାଶ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଆମେ କଣ କରିବା ତାର ରାଇଟ ପ୍ରପର୍ଟି ତାର ଲିବର୍ଟି ଏ ସବୁ ଜିନିଷରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମର ଏମ୍ଫାସିସ କରିବା that is called as what that is called as the individualism. Okay, so fascism believe that there should not be right, there should no true liberty, there should not be any type of fraternity, everything it should be denied to the individuals, and it should be what it should be goes towards the state, and the individual should surrender its rights, its liberty, its fraternity towards what towards the state authority. That's why it is called as that it repudiates the individualism and it believes upon what that is called as that statisms. Is it doubt achi student ମୁଁ 2 ମିନିଟ ବ୍ରେକ୍ କରୁଛି କୁହ କଣ ଡାଉଟ୍ ଅଛି କି ଡାଉଟ୍ ନାହିଁ ପ୍ରୋସିଡ୍ କରିବି ଖାଲି ଜଣେ କହିଲ ମଧୁସ୍ମିତା থিওরি অফ রিঅ্যাকশন বুঝিলনি আচ্ছা ଆଉ কোন বুঝিলনি what is counter revolution বুঝিলনি ଆଉ তাহলে কিছু বুঝি নাও কনফিউজ individualism তো repudiates individualism तबे कौन लेक्चर कंफ्यूज ऑन रेपुडिएट्स और ऑन रेपुडिएट्स लेक्चर रे अच्छा ताले तीनटे जगह पॉइंट तुम बुझिलनी अच्छा माउथ ताले कहबो फर्स्ट हला कोन थ्योरी ऑफ रिएक्शन रिएक्शन कहले कोन बुझुछ तमे गोटे जिंसो सपोज तमु गुटे चापड़े मारला तमे संगे संगे ताकु गुटे चापड़ा मारियाबो ताकु कहउछन रिएक्शन रिएक्शन बेले बेले कोन हुए पॉजिटिव हुए आ बेले बेले नेगेटिव हुए तमु जदि कि उडे चापड़े मारला तमे संग संग ताकू रिएक्ट करी जदि चापड़े मारलो दैट इज व्हाट दैट इज कॉल्ड समटाइम्स दैट इज पॉजिटिव रिएक्शन दैट इज आल्सो द नेगेटिव रिएक्शन बट fascist for a fascist that is not a negative reaction that is called as a positive reaction if जदि गुटे लोकर slapping the slapping of the person is approved by certain type of legal conditions तमु जने गोटे चापड़े मारला सेटा जदि बिना कारण जदि गोटे लोक तमको चापड़े पकेची बा थापड़े मारिची आ से थापड़टा को तमे सेठी कोन करलो ताको डिनाय करलो बा ताको ऑब्स्ट्रक्ट करलो किबा ता प्रतिफल तमे आउडे चपड़े मारलो विदाउट एक्सेप्टिंग ताले दैट रिएक्शन इज एक्सेप्टेबल ओके से जो रिएक्शन ना तमे दबो इंडिविजुअल रिएक्शन ता जो दबो से रिएक्शन ता सबले तमरो एक्सेप्टेबल हेकि तम रहयो दैट इज कॉल्ड एज इंडिविजुअल रिएक्शन सेकंड जिंस कोन कहला ना फैसिज्म आइडिया कोन कहला इट इज ए रिएक्शन एटा कार रिएक्शन हे के असला जो थ्योरीटा का रिएक्शन हला गोटे हला सोशलिज्म रो गोटे हला कम्युनिज्म रो ओके आ गोटे जिंस हला तार कोन ना डेमोक्रेसी रो डेमोक्रेसी सोशलिज्म आउ कम्युनिज्म ए तीनटा जाक थ्योरी रो गोटे रिएक्शन हेकि आसला रिएक्शन बोली कहले कोन बुझुछ गोटे प्रकार एंटीथेसिस हेकि आसला गोटे टेबलेट तो नाइ तमे सपोज कहि परिबो तार गोटे एंटीथेसिस कहले कोन बुझुछ नेगेशन ऑफ डेमोक्रेसी नेगेशंस ऑफ सोशलिज्म एंड नेगेशंस ऑफ कम्युनिज्म डेमोक्रेसी कोन कहूची तमरो राइट टू वोट बा तमरो आमी जेमति कोजो द पीपल आर द which were that they are called as the elector they are called the parties आमे होचो जे आमे गवर्नमेंट द्वारा आउ गवर्नमेंट जो अब्राहम लिंकन रो डेफिनेशन ला थिला by the people of the people and for the people ओके सो तमरो जो फासिज्म आइडिया थिला फासिज्म आइडिया डा तमरो डेमोक्रेसी की बिलीव करनो कांकी ना ताको ता मतलब जदी इफ यू आर गिविंग मच मोर फ्रीडम टू द इंडिविजुअल टू कंस्ट्रक्ट ए स्टेट टू कंस्ट्रक्ट ए गवर्नमेंट then what will happen it will leads to anarchism जदि हमें लोकों का हाथ में दे दबा जे तमे निजे निजे राष्ट्र गठन करो जेमिति हमर इंडिया रे चलछि ताहले कोन होबो जेहेतु से निजे निजे जदि लोक माने निजे निजे शासन करबा आरंभ कर देबे ताहले कोन होबो सेमानको भितर गोटे डर रहिबो नाही an individual was not quite mature all the individual are not quite mature जिमि तमे देखिथिबो गोटे क्लास रे 10टा पिला थिबे 10टा पिला रो आमे जदि कहबा जे वोटिंग प्रिंसिपल्स रे जण को इलेक्ट करो 10टा पिला रो 9टा पिला जदि दुष्ट थिबे ताले से जो लोक जे 9टा पिला जो वोट देबे से काहा को देबे गोटे दुष्ट पिला को ही से माने सिलेक्ट करी छाडी सो व्हाट विल हैपन द पीपल विल सिलेक्ट दैट पर्सन हु विल प्रोवाइड देयर ओन एग्जांपल मु कहूनी जे सब लोक खराब किंतु बेडे बेडे कोन हुए ना इंडिविजुअल कोन करे बेडे बेडे केतेटा लोक माने केतेटा भलो लोक जदि थिबो ताले भलो लोक बाछिबे सो जदि नेगेटिव कैंडिडेट पर्सन थिबे ताले नेगेटिव पर्सन्स को तमरो कोन हो से माने सिलेक्ट करी छाडी सो हियर ए जो फासिज्म आइडिया थिला से डेमोक्रेसी को रिजेक्ट करथुला सेकंड चीज जो कोन हला कम्युनिज्म को रिजेक्ट करथुला कम्युनिज्म कहले कोन होची जो तमरो सोसाइटी का हाथ रहबो मुष्टि सॉरी तमरो सर्वहरा लोकन हाथ रे जोडा सर्वहरा हाथ रे माने कोन जो माने गरीब जो आमर जो कैपिटलिस्ट पीपल मन रहउचंती सेमान का हाथ रे गवर्नमेंट के भी रहिबा कथा नाही द स्टेट शुड बी कंट्रोल बाय तमरो सर्वहरा मीन्स व्हाट जो आमान पाखरे लैंड नथिबो जो मान पाखरे पैसा नथिबो सेही लोक मान पाखरे कोन हो तमे राष्ट्र को दे दियो जोटा कि तमरो कम्युनिज्म आइडिया को तमरो की करथिले तमरो कम्युनिस्ट आइडिया को तमरो कार्ल मार्क्स करथिले ओके सो तमरो जो ए आइडिया को से कोन करला से काउंटर करथुला द थ्योरी ऑफ रिएक्शन जोटा कि रिएक्शन को रिएक्ट कला जोटा कि तमरो कम्युनिज्म आइडिया को रिएक्ट कला जोटा तमरो डेमोक्रेसी आइडिया को से रिएक्ट करि जायतिला आ तमरो सोशलिज्म माने समाजवाद कहले कोन बुझुछ ना जो राष्ट्र लोकंकर सर्वांगीन उन्नति को चेष्टा करे से आइडिया को मते सी रिजेक्ट कला से कोन कहला द स्टेट शुड नॉट बी geared for the development of the individual but the individual should be geared for the development of the state the directions of the individuals is towards the state not the state towards the individual राष्ट्र प्रथम कर्तव्य व्यक्ति नुहे किंतु व्यक्तिर कर्तव्य होउची प्रथम तार राष्ट्र आ किछि डाउट रहला कि फर्स्ट पॉइंट कि मते पचार दिले एटा देखो मते गोटे क्वेश्चन सबले मते बहुत खराब लागे भाग्य लक्ष्मी सतपति तमे लिखिचो व्हिच एमपीएस इज गोइंग ऑन तमरो टाइम टेबल नाही कि तमरो को क्लास का कोन तमे जानि न आज कोन क्लास होचे तमे एई सब कंफ्यूज क्वेश्चन जा काई पचरचो रे सब्जेक्ट रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस पचारो अच्छा ए क्वेश्चंस ता थिला थ्योरी ऑफ रिएक्शन जयश्री बुझा पड़ला तुमको नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चंस थिला तमरो कोन व्हाट इज काउंटर रिएक्शन सॉरी काउंटर रिवॉल्यूशन व्हाट इज काउंटर रिवॉल्यूशन काउंटर रिवॉल्यूशंस कहले कोन बुझुचो हमर जो रिवॉल्यूशनरी जो स्ट्रेटजी जगह थिला अगर जो स्ट्रेटजी जगह थिला जे कोन से रिवॉल्यूशंस करिया होतिले हमें वार इज ए मींस टू हेव द रिवॉल्यूशंस विथ अनदर नेशंस किंतु जो तमर जो फासिज्म सो आइडिया थिला से कोन कला इट हैज मोस्ट डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ द आइडियाज टू द रिवॉल्यूशंस से कौन कला जदि गोटे देश जदि तमर रिवोल्ट कला देन नेक्स्ट ताको काउंटर रिवोल्ट करिया सिख जदि युद्ध कला युद्ध बदल रे युद्ध रक्त बदल रे रक्त कोनोसे संधिर आवश्यकता तार नाही okay so it adds different type of the idea into the revolutionary means the one thing is what that is called as victory the means whatever may be कोनोसे भी means हो तार कोनोसे आवश्यकता नाही so this is called as the theory of counter revolution next one मते पचारची next one the what do you mean by the repudiates individualism एटा पचारतिलो तो repudiates individualism के पचारतिलो तमे अच्छा जी भी पचारतिलो नाटा बोटे देखा जाउनी repudiates individual अच्छा प्रकाश चंद्र सेठी आउ तमरो धीरेन्द्र बेहरा अच्छा तमे पचारतिलो repudiates individualism कहले कोन बुझछो प्रथम गोटे को इंडिविजुअलिज्म कहले कोन बुझो इंडिविजुअल हैला व्यक्तिवाद बा तमरो जोडा जो थ्योरीटा तमरो व्यक्ति केंद्रिक हेतियो व्यक्ति केंद्रिक र माने कोन जो जिंसोडा कोन होची ना सपोज तमरो व्यक्ति रो डेवलपमेंट पई दरकार हमें जानि छे जे व्यक्ति रो डेवलपमेंट पई कोन दरकार तीनटा जिंसो थिबारो निहाती आवश्यक गुड जिंसो हैला कोन तार लिबर्टी थिबा पड़िबो तार राइट थिबा पड़िबो ए दीटा जिंस जदि थिबो ताहले कोन हला तार व्यक्ति कोन हबो व्यक्ति पदवाद इक्वालिटी लिबर्टी और राइट इक्वालिटी लिबर्टी और राइट तमरो जो fascism कहला there should not be any type of rights there will not be any type of the true liberty but the right and the liberty should be subjugated to the state authority आमर इंडिविजुअल रे कोनोसी लिबर्टी रहिबा आवश्यक नाही लिबर्टी माने स्वतंत्रता रहिबा आवश्यक नाही स्वतंत्रता इन द सेंस कोन बुझुचो जिमिति आमर जो राइट टू फ्रीडम आर्टिकल 19 रे जोडा देछि विथ की इज हमरो तम कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन देछि कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन कोन दोछि राइट टू मूव फ्रॉम हेदर टू देदर ए टू सेड जाई परिबो राइट टू एक्सप्रेस राइट टू स्पीच राइट टू असेंबली तमु जेति जाक जो राइट देछि कोनोसी जगह रे एकत्रित होई परिबो काहा विषय रे भी किछि कहि परिबो गोटे जगह रे गोटे मूवमेंट हेई तुम पचरे मैडम कोरोना टाइम रे जाई परिया गे हमें सेला नहीं बट दिस राइट इज गारंटेड टुवर्ड्स द इंडिविजुअल आमो इंडिविजुअल को दिया जायछि काई दिया जायछि इन ऑर्डर टू प्रमोट द इंडिविजुअलिज्म व्यक्तिर व्यक्तित्व को विकास करिया पई एई राइट जाको हमरो देइचंती किंतु जेहेतु फैसिज्म इज अ नेगेशन ऑफ द डेमोक्रेसी हमरो इंडिया रे नेगेटिव सॉरी डेमोक्रेसी स्टेट हेतिबा जोगो से कोन करछि इंडिविजुअलिज्म को प्रमोट करछि आर्टिकल 19 रे आर्टिकल 14 रे तमु देला राइट टू इक्वालिटी समानतार अधिकार आर्टिकल 19 रे तमु देला राइट टू फ्रीडम ऑफ व्हाट राइट टू फ्रीडम ऑफ डिफरेंट फ्रीडम यू विल बी एंजॉय डिफरेंट फ्रीडम 19 to 22 a bundle of freedom is there relating to the individual concern relating to the crime concern related to everything so here what will happen the fascist says that it repudiates individual you should not give any type of right you should not be any type of the liberty or anything towards the individuals जदि तमे इंडिविजुअल को राइट और लिबर्टी दे दबो ताले कोन हबो इंडिविजुअल राष्ट्र एगेंस्ट पड़ेबो सेति लागि राष्ट्र पाई केवल राष्ट्र पाई व्यक्ति निजर राइट आ तार अधिकार को से कोन करिवो निश्चित भाबरे सरेंडर करिया को निहाती आवश्यक बुझिलो प्रकाश then the next one that is called is that anti liberalism what do you mean by the anti liberal means what that is called as that the fascist relies on faith and emotions as the motive force of human actions this says that the faith and emotions is the motive force of human actions okay this says that the liberal that reasons if the person has the reasons the person should not be believe upon what that is called as that the factual that is called the factual thinking लिबरलिज्म जो आइडिया थिला जो जोडा को तमर कोन कला फैसिज्म तार अगेंस्ट जिबार से आरंभ कला से कोन कहला Liberalism is an idea that has been derived from the word that is called as liberty. Liberty, that is called as liberalism. Libertarianism, that is another concept. But the liberalism and liberty both are the ideology of the liberty, that is called as that the liberalisms. Okay, don't give the individual the liberty. So this idea is called as that the anti-liberalism. Then the next point that is called as that establishing the monopoly of nation state. Establishing the monopoly of a nation state. Monopoly of nation states means what? That monopoly should be in the internal and also in the external matter. Monopoly कौन कौन बुझुचो माने जो निजो इच्छा रे सिंगल शासक तमर जेमि देखिथिबो monopoly competition means what? There will not be any type of substitute or there will not be any type of the competitor for your goods. जेतल तमे कोनोसी जिंस बिकुच तमर जेतल तमर कॉम्पिटिटिव नथिबो तमर गुड्स रो कोन होची रेट हाई हेगी पड़ोची. That is called as what? That is called as monopoly. जो ये तमर जो फासिस्ट थिला सी कोन करथिले दे आर हैव द आइडिया टू एस्टैब्लिशिंग द मोनोपोली ऑफ ए नेशन स्टेट. Nation state not only in the internal affairs but also in the external affairs. Internally and also in the external. Internally means what? They will what? They will monopolizing their right upon the individual internally and they will monopolizing their right upon other state. तांकर जोड़ा इच्छा तांके लोकों ऊपरे कले तांकर जोड़ा इच्छा से अन्य राज्यों ऊपरे कले. They will not believe that whether it will benefit to the other nation or whether जदि आमे इटा करिबा ताले अन्य देश सहित it will curtail the relations. They will not believe that आमे किछि खराब व्यवहार करिबा then it will what? It will create the negative behavior to the other states. So here what will happen? They will establishing the monopoly of nation state internally and also the externally. Internally means what? They will forcing the individuals whatever they think that's right. तुमु जोडा कोची तमे सेटा को तमे मानिबा को पड़िबो. इटा होची पानी तमर बेदर गार तुमको मानिया को पड़िबो because I am the state and I am the maker of the state. The fascist and the maker of the state. So what I will speak you have to obey. Not only it will be subjugated upon the individual but it will subjugated to the other state towards the other state. So it establishing the monopoly on both sides, internally and also the external. Then in the next point that is called as that not supporting the international organization. What do you mean by the international organization? Here we know that if there is any type of the war, if there is any type of the aggressions, because we know that we are having two organizations are there that are internationally established. What are they? One is called as the League of Nations and second one is called the United Nations. The failure of the League of Nations, it has created the one thing that is called as the United Nations. We know that after the failure of the League of Nations in the First World War, it emanates or it creates the other institutions, the other organizations internationally that is called as that what? That is called as that the UNO or United National Organizations. Why? There is the failure of the League of Nations because whatever the directions, whatever the your commands that was given by the League of Nations, that was given by the League of Nations, that was not obeyed by the other nations internationally. So the failure of the League of Nations has been created by the what? That is called the UN. So here the fascist says that there is not required of any type of international organizations in order to what? The revoke any type of the war, any type of aggressions, any type of the revolutions. So we will revoke or we will do whatever we like. So they are not supporting any type of the international organism. Any doubt, students? Because they think that the international organizations are not there for the settlement of the dispute. They believe that they believe upon the military solutions. सेमाने कहउतले केवल कोनोसी जिंसर जदि प्रॉब्लम हेले ताले इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस पीडीएफ लिंक सेंड करंतु सर 24/6/20 क्लास रो पीडीएफ लिंक मु तो सार नहीं 24/6 रे के क्लास नहीं मु नहीं रे मो पारे कौन सी पीडीएफ ना जहाँ पढ़ुची मो स्लाइड रो पढ़ुची आ मो मन रो तुम बुझौची सेतिले मो पारे कौन सी पीडीएफ नहीं बापा तुम जदि पढ़िया इच्छा तुम इग्नोर सिलेबस तुम घाट ता भितर ही तुमको सब जिन मिल मो पारे कौन सी पीडीएफ नहीं मु जहाँ पढ़ुची मो स्लाइड्स रो पढ़ुची ओके गुडुली सीता so they believe that that the international organizations they believe that there is no need of international organization for the settlement of the international so for the settlement of the dispute but they relies upon the military solutions the one thing is that is called as that the military solutions means what जदि तुमको किसी के प्रॉब्लम कला तमे ता सहित प्रॉब्लम क्रिएट करो that is the military solutions आ मध्यस्थी आड़ी से जिंस को तमे बंद करने को चेष्टा करो इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस तो कौन में थिला तम यूएन लीग ऑफ नेशन कौन में थिला ए माने एति लागि थिला कोन से युद्ध होला कोन से असुविधा होला तले दीस नेशंस आर देयर दे विल रिवोक द वार दे विल रिवोक एवरीथिंग से माने चेष्टा करथिले कोन कॉन्सिलिएशंस में चेष्टा करथिले किंतु ई फासिस्ट कोन कहला ना तमरो इंटरनेशनल ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस रो कोन से प्रकार आवश्यकता नाही okay then the next one that is called as that rejects the concept of class conflict in favor of organic unity of the state rejects the concept of what that is called as the class conflict who has given the class conflict you know that the Karl Marx is given the concept of the class conflict he says that if there will be the two classes in the state then automatically there will conflict हमर जतरो मार्क्स थिले कार्ल मार्क्स कोन कहथिले ना तम प्रति क्लास रे प्रति सोसाइटी रे दी प्रकार क्लास प्रति स्टेट रे दी प्रकार क्लास थाए हेप्स और हेप्स नॉट लैंडलॉर्ड्स और शॉप्स बा तमरो ओनर और तमरो वर्कर कैपिटलिस्ट और सोशलिस्ट so he says that in every state there will be if there is the creation of the class then naturally there is the creation of the conflict so he totally reject the concept of what that is called as the class conflict he says that the class if there is one class is there if there is one class is there then what will automatically there will not be any type of the conflict is there जदि हमें टोटल ऑर्गेनिक यूनिट ऑफ द नेशन स्टेट बा ऑर्गेनिक यूनिट ऑफ द स्टेट रे हमें जदि विश्वास करिबा ताले कोनोसी प्रकार तमरो असुविधा हबो नाही कोनोसी प्रकार तमे कॉन्फ्लिक्ट हबो नाही लोकन को मध्यरे कोन डिवीजन आसीबो नाही सो दिस इज द कांसेप्ट और दिस इज द वर्ड दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द जेनेसिस ऑफ फैसिज्म किछि डाउट करे स्टूडेंट किछि डाउट अछि कि डाउट अच्छे बोले कुआ नो 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 भलार देखो स्लाइड देखो रोजालिन साहू किछि डाउट नहीं आज पूरा बुझिला then the next one that is called as the features of fascism and the features of fascism the first features that is called as that emphasis upon irrationality emphasis upon the irrationality what do you mean by the emphasis upon the irrationality irrationality means what fascism believes not upon the idea but upon the matter fascism believes not upon the idea but upon what but upon the matter 1 minute student no pandi atlu 5 minute break no stamo no preso hoje sound break kuch bhi student लिख लेंगे ଏଥର ଶୁଭୁଛି କି ରେ ନା ଶୁଭୁନି? ହ୍ୟାଲୋ ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ, ସାଉଣ୍ଡ ବ୍ରେକ୍ ହଉଛି କି? ୟେସ୍ ମ୍ୟାମ୍, ଅଡିବଲ୍ ତ? So in the first thing that is called as that the emphasis of that is irrationalism. What do you mean by the irrationalism? Irrationalism is nothing that is called as that emphasizing upon the matter, not upon the ideas. Fascism suggests that the reasons and objective of the science. It believes that science, and if any event has any type of absolute is or reason is there, then what will happen? It is called as an absolute reasons. जदि कोनोसी जिनसर जदि तमरो कारण थिबो बा ताकू तमरो साइंस प्रूव करि देला ताले that idea is what that is called as that is a greatest idea. But it does not believe upon what that is called emotionalisms. तमे गोटे जिनस को इमोशनली गोटे जिनस को बिलीव करिवो, so it does not believe upon that type of things. It says that it believes upon what that is called feelings. It be तमे गोटे जिनस को फील कलो किबा गोटे जिनस को टच कलो, that will what that is called as it you emphasis upon that factor, and that is called as irrationalism. Just like your Hegel says that the matter comes first from the ideas. The idea are the secondary things. From the first of all the matter comes first. कौन भी जिनस को देखिया गले वस्तु तर वास्तुत्व उपको तमे विश्वास करिबा निहाते आवश्यक. तो तमु जिनस को तमे जानि न तले तुम से जिनस को केवल तुम विश्वास करि परिबो नाही. Then the second thing is called as the repudiations of democratic idea. Repudiations of democratic idea. Fascism गोटे एमिति गोटे जिनस जोडा कि तुमर डेमोक्रेटिक आइडिया को रेपुडिएट करता इट इज द नेगेशंस ऑफ द योर डेमोक्रेटिक आइडिया. The same thing मुझे एटा रिपीट कर देली बोधे मोर स्लाइड रे गोटे स्लाइड रे रहिया कथा एटा दुटा रिपीट हे गेला. Then the next one that is called as racialism. So what do you mean by the racialism? You may ask me that what do you mean by the racialism? So for the fascists believe that the caste of higher caste should not marry to a lower caste. If it will happen, then what will happen? It is the decline of the racisms. जदि गोटे उच्च जातिर लोक गोटे नीच जातिर लोक जदि बाहा हे गेला ताले से civilizations cannot be called as good civilizations. And for this purpose he believe upon the person that is called as that Gobineau. Who is the Gobineau? The Gobineau is a person who has been deployed to where? To the France from Italy by Hitler. Hitler को द्वारा से कौन करतले गोबिनेau जो थिले से कौन करतले तांको सेंड करा जायतिला in order to study upon the theory of the racisms. And to Gobineau he says that the Aryan was the first the original your factors who were married to the race of the lower caste. से तांको अनुसार कौन थिला ना आर्यन माने गोटी लोको जो लोको कौन होले ना they are the cultural creating but they से माने कौन करले ना तांकर सिविलाइजेशन को खराब करथिले केमिति ना गोटे लोअर कास्ट लोको सहित they are intermarrying with the inferior races. And for the intermarrying of the inferior races, and which will leads to what? That will cause to the decline of their civilization. जेतु आर्यन माने तमरो inferior caste तो बाहागर करथिले तापर रे कोन होतला से माने ताकर डिक्लाइन सिविलाइजेशन डिक्लाइनेशन हेइतला. सेथिले से कोन करथिले from the Gobineau theory the fascists believe that the theory of the racialism means that the persons of a higher caste should marry with the person of a higher caste. They believe upon that the blood of the higher caste people is different from the blood of the lower caste people. So Hitler he categorized the total race into three categories. The one is called as that the culture creating group. Second one is called as cultural bearing group, and the third one is called as that the cultural destroying group. The one is called as that the cultural creating group. The Aryans are the cultural creating groups. Culture creating groups means what? They what they developed, they sometimes they developed, sometimes they decline the civilization. So everywhere they are called as the culture. ସେମାନେ ସଂସ୍କୃତି କୁ ସେମାନେ create କରନ୍ତି. And second one is called as that the culture bearing. Culture bearing माने कौन? They will follow the traditions, the cultures. किए slave माने. They will only to bear, and they will know what, they will not add certain type of the culture to the present culture. जो culture जो चाली थीबो से culture को किछि परिमाण रे add भी करंती नै, से माने जोडा चालतो सेडा ही से विश्वास करंती, सेडा ही से माने bear करिया आरंभ करंती. And the last one is called as the culture destroying the peoples. Who are the culture in destroying the people? The gypsies people. The gypsies people are the nomads peoples. They are called as the nomads, the German nomads, the Jewish peoples, the Negroes. The three are called as that the cultural destroying peoples. Cultural destroying people means what? They are not building upon the what? The common customs. ସେମାନେ ବିଲିଭ କରନ୍ତି ନାହିଁ, ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉଟା ଇଚ୍ଛା ସେମାନେ ବିଲିଭ କରନ୍ତି. Nomads, ଆଜି ଏଇଠି ଅଛନ୍ତି କାଲି ସେଇଠି ଅଛନ୍ତି, ଆଜି ଆକୁ ବାହା ହେବେ କାଲି ସେଇଠି ବାହା ହେବେ. Negroes. So which one? The Hitler says that, and Hitler he borrowed the theory from the Gobineau, and Gobineau is a person who was migrated migrated to the Germany by France through by your Hitler को द्वारा से कौन करते जर्मनी को जाइतिले, फ्रांस रो जर्मनी जाइतिले, ए जो रेसिज्म फैक्टर टा को से कौन करते से बुझिया पे जाइतिले. So this is the much more factor which one that is called as that the feature of the this is the much more important feature of the theory of the fascism. That is called as what? That is called the racialisms. Forgot the imperialism, that is the called as the racialism. So the racialism is it means that the fascists believe upon what? That is called as that the blood theory. They believe upon that is called as that the higher caste people should not marry to the interfering marry with the lower caste peoples. So this is whatever may be the civilizations, so it should be conditioned by the blood. Blood द्वारा ही जेमति तमरो सुभाष चंद्र बोस कहिथिले मते ब्लड दियो मु तुमको नेशन देबी, किंतु एठी कोन होची मते ब्लड दियो मु तुमको ब्लड. So this is what this is called as the fascist idea. Then the next one is called as the totalitarianism. What do you mean by the totalitarianism? Totalitarianism means what? Everything is controlled totally by the state. Just like it's called as the strategism. The other name of totalitarianism is called as what? That is called as strategism. I mean, जोटा तुमको totalitarianism जो कहूचो, तार अन्य नाम कौन होची? तार अन्य नाम होची तुम्हारा strategism. Strategy means what? The individual that does not enjoy any type of the right, any type of thing, anything else. The state is called as an organic state. Organic state means what? तम राष्ट्र गोटे एमिति जिंस, राष्ट्र तमरो स्वामी, तमरो अमात्या, तमरो जनपद, तमरो सब जिंस, तम राष्ट्र होची तमरो सब. That is called as what? That is called as the organic theory of state. Okay, the state is called as an organic state. The state is called as a totalitarian state. The state is called as a corporate state. So it believes upon what? The first feature is called as the totalitarianism. And the next feature that is called as what? That is called as elitism. What do you mean by elite? Elite means nothing, but it is called as the leader. Just like you read about the theory of your Pareto, Mosca, C-right means. In your political theory books, you must have heard the three names of the Mosca, Pareto, and C-right means. The C-right means, I think that ମୁଁ तुमको एटा तमरो पूर्व पाठ रे पढैतिली. C-right means iron law of oligarchy. Okay, रा तमरो Pareto, Mosca रा तमरो elite theory. Okay, so these political philosophers, they have provided some your theory on the elite theory to the political science. So here, what is called as that elitism? Since the fascist says that the nation, or maybe called as the individual, every individual is uneven with their quality, with which one? That is called as the physical quality, with the mental quality, and with everything. The individual is uneven. Uneven means what? They are unequal. They are unequal with what? They are unequal with their mental, their intellectual, their spiritual, and their what? Their physical capability. जनकु टू जने निश्चित भाबरे अलगा हेकरी थिबो. Okay, they are uneven with their mental makeup. जने तमरो बुद्धू हेला बेलको जने तमरो चालाक हेतिबो. जने तम पतला थिला बेलको they are uneven with their physical state. जने मोटा हेला बेलको आ जने तमरो पतला हेतिबो. And they also what? They have their what they have their differences in the spiritual endowments. Spiritual endowments, what? Someone believe upon God while someone is not believe upon the God. Okay, so these are the what? These are differences between one individuals to another individuals. So in return, what will happen? They will also contribute unevenly towards the society and towards the state. ସେମିତି ପ୍ରକାର ସେମାନେ ମଧ୍ୟ କ'ଣ ହୁଅନ୍ତି, ତାଙ୍କର କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁସନ୍ସଟା ମଧ୍ୟ ଅନଇକ୍ୱାଲି ରାଷ୍ଟ୍ର ପାଇଁ ମଧ୍ୟ ରୁହେ। ଯେହେତୁ ଆମେ ଜନ୍ମ ଆମେ ଅନଇଭେଣ୍ଟଲି ହେଇଛେ ବା ଅନଇକ୍ୱାଲି ଭାବରେ ହେଇଛେ, ସମାନ ଭାବରେ ହେଇନେ, ସେଥିଲାଗି ସେମାନଙ୍କର କ'ଣ ହେଉଛି, ସେମାନଙ୍କର କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁସନ୍ସ ମଧ୍ୟ ଷ୍ଟେଟ୍ ପ୍ରତି କ'ଣ ହେଉଛି, ତାଙ୍କର ଅନଇକ୍ୱାଲ ହେଇଯିବ, ସେମାନେ ଇକ୍ୱାଲ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିବ୍ୟୁସନ୍ ସେମାନେ ଦେଇପାରିବେ ନାହିଁ। So from the persons, some persons are more what? Some persons are more intellectual. Some persons are more physically strained. So the state should reward the persons with their what? With their contributions. ଆମେ ସେଇମାନଙ୍କ ଭିତରେ କିଛି ଲୋକଙ୍କୁ ବାଛିବା ଯୋଉ ଲୋକମାନେ କ'ଣ କରିବେ ନା ଆମକୁ ଯେମିତି ତମର ବେନିଟୋ ମୁସୋଲିନି, ଯେମିତି ତମ ହିଟଲର, ତାମାନେ କ'ଣ କହୁଛି, ସେ କହୁଛି ହିଟଲର ଯିଏ କ'ଣ ଥିଲେ ନା, ଯିଏ ତମର ଫିଜିକାଲି ଷ୍ଟ୍ରେନ୍ଥ, ମେଣ୍ଟାଲ କ୍ୟାପାବିଲିଟି ବା ତମର ସ୍ପିରିଚୁଆଲ କ୍ୱାଲିଟି ସବୁଥିରେ ସେ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରେନ୍ଥ ଥିଲେ, ସେଇ ଲୋକ କ'ଣ କରିବେ, ତମ ଉପରେ ଲିଡରସିପ କରିବେ। ଇଲାଇଟ୍, ଦି ପର୍ସନ ଆର୍ କଲ୍ଡ ଏଜ୍ ଦ ଇଲାଇଟ୍। ଇଲାଇଟ୍ ମିନ୍ସ ହ୍ୱାଟ? ଦେ ଆର୍ କଲ୍ଡ ଏଜ୍ ଦ ଲିଡର। ଆମେ ସମସ୍ତଙ୍କୁ ଲିଡର ହିସାବରେ ବାଛି ପାରିନି, କିନ୍ତୁ ତମ ଡେମୋକ୍ରେସିରେ କ'ଣ କହୁଛି, ତମର ଗଧ ହଉ ମୂର୍ଖ ହଉ ତମେ ଯଦି ବାଛିଲ, ସିଏ ହେଲା ହି ଇଜ ଦ ଲିଡର ଅର୍ ସି ଇଜ ଦ ଲିଡର। ସ୍ମୃତି ଇରାନୀ, whatever may be the qualification, but she was the educational ministers in the union. ତମର ୟୁନିୟନର ସେ ଏଜୁକେସନ ମିନିଷ୍ଟର ଥିଲା। We are not having, we didn't want any type of educational qualification for a particular leader. ଆମେ ନରେନ୍ଦ୍ର ମୋଦିର qualification check କରୁଛେ ନାହିଁ। And we only vote towards the people whom I like most. ଆମେ ତାକୁ ଭୋଟ ଦଉଛେ ଯାହାକୁ ଆମେ ପସନ୍ଦ କରୁଛେ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଏଠି କ'ଣ ହଉଛି, ଇଲେକ୍ଟିସିମରେ କ'ଣ କହୁଛି, the state should select the persons, the state should reward the persons who will contribute towards the state, ଯାହାର ଫିଜିକାଲ କ୍ୱାଲିଟି, ମେଣ୍ଟାଲ କ୍ୟାପାବିଲିଟି, ସ୍ପିରିଚୁଆଲ ରିଜନିଂ ପାୱାର ଏ ସବୁଠି ଭଲ ଥିବ, ସେଇମାନଙ୍କୁ କ'ଣ ହବ, ରାଷ୍ଟ୍ର ସିଲେକ୍ଟ କରିବ, ଆଉ ସେଇମାନେ ହିଁ ରାଷ୍ଟ୍ରକୁ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରୋଲ କରିବେ। This is what? This is called as the theory of elitisms. Then the next one that is called as the single party. In the fascism says that there should not be any type of, just like in India we are having the multi-party system, just like in United States of America there is a two-party system or the bi-party systems are there, but it believes upon what thing that is called as the single party. If there is the single party, then the successors they will ascend the throne according to their quality, according to their mental capability. So there will no need of any type of, if there is no party is there, so there is no need of any type of election. जेहेतु हमर पार्टी नहीं, ସେଥିଲାଗି हमर election ର କୌଣସି ପ୍ରକାର ଆବଶ୍ୟକତା ନାହିଁ। Then the next one that is called as the absolute leadership. What do you mean by the absolute leadership? The fascists believe that the leader knows the goal and the directions. The leader is a person who should be the leader is a person who is an absolute leader, who knows about the target, who knows about the goal, who knows about the directions, who knows about his positions, who knows where and to from where and to whom he has to go. ତାକୁ ଜାଣିବାକୁ ଦରକାର ସେ କୋଠିକି ଯିବ, କୋଠାରୁ କୋଠିକି ସେ ଯିବ। So this is concept of what? That is called as that absolute leadership. Elitism is a good feature of fascism. तुम पसंद करछो elitism टा features good feature बड़ी? हाँ? भाग्यलक्ष्मी शतपथी कमेंट भारी करे कोई परिबिनी किंतु तमे केमती बा जानिबो, तमे जदि तमर इलेटिजिम टा गुड फीचर ऑफ सोसाइटी, तमे केमती जानिबो, बर्त से माने तो कंपटीशन नाही, एग्जाम नाही, किछ नाही, तमे केमती जानिबो द पर्सन हैज द मेंटल कैपेबिलिटी और द फिजिकल अपीयरेंस। तमे गोटे मोटा लोक देखले तमे जानि परिबो तार फिजिकल स्ट्रेंथ कोन, हम भाबियो से भारी लोक से करि परिबो। हाउ कुड यू नो दैट द पर्सन हैज दैट मच ऑफ क्वालिटी दैट इलेटिजिम रिक्वायर्ड? तुम केमती जानिबो? सेटा ଗୋଟେ ଅଲଗା କନସେप्शन तमर फासिज्म रो थिला, जाओ तुमको भल लागछ तो कांसेप्टटा के रोरे म पानी पीबी, थकी लागे। Then the next one that is called as that organic concept of state. What do you mean by the organic concept of the state? Organic concept of the state means that the state control all aspect of life. That is called as that the organic concept. The state control the all aspect of the life of the individual. That is called as what? That is called as that the organic concept of the state. So which one? These are the your feature of the fascisms. So first feature is what? That it repudiates irrationalism. It emphasizes irrationalism and it repudiates the democratic ideas. Second one, it emphasizes upon the racisms or the racialisms. And third one, it emphasizing upon the totalitarianism. Racism means here what will happen? The upper class person should marry to a upper class lady, or that there will be no type of what? There will be no type of the marriage in between the upper and the lower class people. The blood of the persons will decide the blood of the another person. କହୁଛି କ'ଣ ନା ଗୋଟେ ଉଚ୍ଚ ଶ୍ରେଣୀର ଲୋକଙ୍କର ରକ୍ତ ଯେମିତି ଥିବ ଗୋଟେ ନିମ୍ନ ଶ୍ରେଣୀର ଲୋକଙ୍କର ସେଇ ରକ୍ତ ହେଇପାରିବ ନାହିଁ। ତା ମାନେ କ'ଣ ତମେ କ'ଣ କାଟିକି ତାକୁ ଦେଖିବ କି? ତା ମାନେ ସେ କ'ଣ କହୁଛି the persons that are having the higher caste deserves the courage। ତା ପାଖରେ ଯୋଉ ବ୍ଲଡ୍ ଟା ଥିବ ସେ ବ୍ଲଡ୍ ର courageous ଥିବ। ତା ତମେ ଦେଖିଥିବ ଯେମିତି ମୁଭି ଦେଖୁଛ, ମୁଭିରେ ଯେମିତି କଣ କହୁଛନ୍ତି ଇଏ ଗୋଟେ ଉଚ୍ଚ କାଷ୍ଟର ଝିଅ ଭଳିଆ ଲାଗୁଛି କିମ୍ବା ଗୋଟେ ଉଚ୍ଚ କାଷ୍ଟର ପୁଅ ଭଳିଆ ଲାଗୁଛି। କାହିଁ କହୁଛନ୍ତି? ତା ଲୋକଙ୍କର ସୁନ୍ଦର ବା ଲୋକଙ୍କର ଚାହାଣୀ ଦେଖିକି ଲୋକମାନେ ଭାବନ୍ତି ଯେ ଇଏ ଗୋଟେ ଉଚ୍ଚ ଶ୍ରେଣୀର ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ କାଷ୍ଟର ଗୋଟେ ସମ୍ପ୍ରଦାୟର ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକ ଭଳିଆ। That is called as what? That is called as which one? That is called as the fascism। ଆମ ବିଷୟରେ ଗୋଟେ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ ଆମେ ଭାବୁଛେ ଯେ ଲୋୟର କାଷ୍ଟ ଲୋକମାନେ କଳା ଥାନ୍ତି ବା ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର କ୍ୱାଲିଟି ନଥାଏ, ମେଣ୍ଟାଲ କ୍ୱାଲିଟି ବା ତାଙ୍କର କୌଣସି ପ୍ରକାର ତାଙ୍କର ଜେନ୍ୟୁନ୍ ତାଙ୍କର ବୁଦ୍ଧି ବଗେରା ନଥାଏ। କିନ୍ତୁ ଏଇଟା ମେ ବି ଠିକ୍ କି ଭୁଲ ମୁଁ ଜାଣିନି, କିନ୍ତୁ ଫାସିଷ୍ଟ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରେ କ'ଣ ନା ଯୋଉମାନେ ଅପର କ୍ଲାସେସ୍ ପିପୁଲ, ଯୋଉମାନେ ତମର କ୍ଷତ୍ରିୟ କିମ୍ବା ଯୋଉମାନେ ତମର ବଡ଼ ସମ୍ପ୍ରଦାୟର ଲୋକ, ଦେ ଆର୍ ହେଭିଂ ଦ କ୍ୱାଲିଟି and therefore what will happen through the Gobinius ideology Hitler has classified the whole caste into the three category. The one is called as the Aryans that bearing the what? That is called as the cultural creating, and the second one is called as that the cultural bearing, they are called as slaves। ସେମାନେ କୌଣସି ପ୍ରକାର ନିଜର they are not giving any type of idea, innovative ideas towards the culture, but they only bear the traditions, customs, and they will follow them, that they are the called as the cultural bearing caste। And the third one is cultural destroying। Cultural destroying means what? They are not believing upon any type of culture। ସେମାନେ କୌଣସି ସଂସ୍କୃତିରେ ସେମାନେ କେମିତି ସଂସ୍କୃତିକୁ ଭାଙ୍ଗିବେ ସେଟାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରନ୍ତି। ପ୍ରଥମେ ଆର୍ୟନ ମାନେ ସଂସ୍କୃତିକୁ ତିଆରି କରନ୍ତି ଯେ ଏମିତି କଲେ ଭଲ। ସପୋଜ ତମର ଟେକ୍ ଫର ଏକ୍ସାମ୍ପଲ ମ୍ୟାରେଜଟା କୋଉ ପ୍ରକାର ହେବା କଥା, ଆରେଞ୍ଜ ମ୍ୟାରେଜରେ କେମିତି ଚାଲିବ, ମାନେ କ'ଣ ଆମର ଯଦି ଦେଖିଛ ତମ ବାହାଘର ବେଳକୁ ଆମର ଆର୍ୟନ ମ୍ୟାରେଜ ତା ମାନେ କ'ଣ? ସପୋଜ ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟଙ୍କର ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟରେ ଆମର ବାହାଘରଟା ହୁଏ, ମାନେ ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଚନ୍ଦ୍ର ସାକ୍ଷୀ। ଚନ୍ଦ୍ର ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ସାକ୍ଷୀ କେତେବେଳେ? ଦିନରେ ଆମର ଚନ୍ଦ୍ର ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ସାକ୍ଷୀ, କାରଣ ଦିନରେ ତମର ଚନ୍ଦ୍ର ବି ଦେଖାଯାନ୍ତି, ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ବି ଦେଖାଯାନ୍ତି। ସୋ ଇଟ୍ ୱାଜ କ୍ରିଏଟେଡ୍ ବାଇ ହ୍ୱିଚ୍ ୱାନ୍? ଦେ ଆର୍ ଦ ଆର୍ୟନ୍ସ ପିପଲ୍ସ। ସେମାନେ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରନ୍ତି ଯେ ଅଗ୍ନି, ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ, ଚନ୍ଦ୍ର ଏମାନଙ୍କ ପ୍ରେଜେଣ୍ଟ ଯେତେବେଳେ ବାହାଘର ହୁଏ ସେ ବାହାଘରଟା ସତ୍ୟ ରୁହେ। ସେ ଜିନିଷଟାକୁ ମାନେ ବିଶ୍ୱାସ କରନ୍ତି ନା ଧୀରେ ଆମେ ଦିନରେ ବାହାଘର କଲେ ଆମେ ଚନ୍ଦ୍ରକୁ ଦେଖିପାରୁଛେ, ରାତିରେ ଜେନେରାଲି ଆମର ବାହାଘର ହୁଏନି, ରାତିରେ କେବଳ ଭୋଜି କରି ଖାଇକି ପଳଉ। ସେଇଟାକୁ ଆମେ ସେ ଟ୍ରେଡିସନଟାକୁ କିଏ ଫଲୋ କରେ? ସ୍ଲେଭ୍ସ ମାନେ ଫଲୋ କରନ୍ତି। ସୋ ଦେ ଆର୍ କଲ୍ଡ ଏଜ୍ ଦ କଲଚରାଲ ସ୍ଲେଭ୍ସ। ମାନେ କ'ଣ? ସ୍ଲେଭ୍ସ ମାନେ ମୁଁ କହୁନି ତମର ଯୋଉମାନେ ତମର ମାନେ ତମର ୱାର୍କର ବୋଲି କହୁନି। ସ୍ଲେଭ୍ସ ମାନେ କ'ଣ? ଦ ପର୍ସନ ଦେ ହୁ ଆର୍ ନଟ୍ ଗିଭିଂ ଏନି ଟାଇପ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଇନୋଭେଟିଭ ଆଇଡିଆସ୍। ସେମାନେ ଦେ ଆର୍ ଦ ବିୟରର୍ସ ଅଫ୍ ଆଇଡିଆ। ସେମାନେ ଖାଲି ବିୟର କରନ୍ତି, ନାଇଁ ସୂର୍ଯ୍ୟ ଚନ୍ଦ୍ର ଏମିତି ହେଲେ ବାହାଘର ହେବା ଉଚିତ, କିନ୍ତୁ ସେମାନେ ଜାଣନ୍ତିନି ତାର କାରଣ କ'ଣ। ତାପରେ ଧର କଲଚରାଲ ଡେଷ୍ଟ୍ରୋଇଂ କିଏ ଥିଲା? ଯୋଉ ନିଗ୍ରୋସ୍ ମାନେ କାହିଁ କଲଚରାଲ ଡେଷ୍ଟ୍ରୋଇଂ ହେଲେ? କାରଣ ସେମାନେ ଅନ୍ୟ ଜାଗାରୁ ଆସିଥିବେ। ତମେ ଦେଖିଥିବ ଘରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ତମର ଟ୍ରେଡିସନ୍ସ ଅନୁସାରେ ତମର ଜେଜେମା ଜେଜେବାପା ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ କୁହନ୍ତି, ସପୋଜ ଫରେନରୁ ତମ ଘରକୁ ଟିକେ ପଶିଗଲା, ସେ ସମସ୍ତେ କ'ଣ ଏମିତି ସବୁ ମାନୁଛ ମ? ନା ଫାଲତୁ କଥା। It means what? They are called as the nomads people. They are not believing upon any type of religions. They are not believing upon any type of culture. ତାପରେ କ'ଣ ହଉଛି? ସପୋଜ କିଛି ଅସୁବିଧା ହେଲେ ଆମେ ସମସ୍ତେ କ'ଣ କହୁଛେ? ଦେଖିଲେ ତ ଇଏ କଥା ମାନିଲାନି, ସେଥିପାଇଁ ଅସୁବିଧା ତାର ହେଇଗଲା। We are the slaves. We are the what? We are the descendants of Aryans. So we are the slaves. ଆମେ କେତେଟା ଜିନିଷ ହଉଛି, ଆମେ ସପୋଜ ଏବେ କରୋନା ଆସିଲା, ଆମେ କ'ଣ କହୁଛେ? ଦେଖିଲେ ନା କିଏ କ'ଣ କରିଥିଲା ତ କରୋନା ପଳେଇ ଆସିଲା। କିମ୍ବା ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ଆସିଲେ କରୋନା ତମର ସବୁ ବନ୍ଦ ହେଇଯିବ। ତମକୁ ଲାଗୁଛି ଜଗନ୍ନାଥ ଆସିଲେ କରୋନା ତମର ବନ୍ଦ ହେଇଯିବ? It needs certain type of medicines to recover a person. तुमको जगन्नाथ जब सबड़े बुली बुली जब कोरोना ठीक कर देते हैं तले दुनिया रे यूएसए मध्ये तुमको जगन्नाथ को पठेव पड़िबो. We are only the cultural bearers. आमे केवल बियर करबा. आमे जदि कोन कहि दवा हमहु लागियो कोन आमे हिंदू मानकर एगेंस्ट जाउछु. And for this belief what will happen? तुम देखि दिबो मझरे गोटे तुमरे ए बिलीफ रे ए जो रिलीजियंस रे बिलीफ रे तुमर जो स्टार्टिंग हेतिला कोरोना आइडियोलॉजी तुमर जो कोडी जो तुमर हेतिला दिल्ली रे जो हेतिला ऑस्कर्स पाखरे जो गोटे जो तीर्थ करके जो लोक माने भिड़ा भिड़ी रहिले कोरोना मत स्प्रेड हेबा आरंभ कला. मु बिलीव करे गॉड रे किंतु केतना जिंस रुहे जोडा कि विदाउट एनी टाइप ऑफ रीजन विदाउट एनी टाइप ऑफ द कॉज if you are believe blindly then what will happen? You are the slaves, you have no ideas, you have no antithesis with you. तुम पारे कोन से antithesis नाही, तुम पारे कोन से रीजन नाही, तुम जोडी के सेटा को कोन सिस्टम टाको तुम एडजस्ट करि परिबो. थर्ड कैटेगरी होछ हमरा कल्चरल डिस्ट्रॉइंग. ए माने कोन ना they are not as they are not staying in one place, they are traveling from one place to another places. So these peoples are called as that the Jewish people, the Negroes people, the Gypsies peoples. So what will happen? They destroy the beliefs, the norms, the culture of a society. तापर तमर असले कोन टोटलिटेरियनिज्म. टोटलिटेरियनिज्म कहले कोन बुझुछो तार अन्य नाम होला स्ट्रैटेजिज्म बा तमर अन्य नाम होछि कॉर्पोरेटिज्म. Totalitarianism means what? Subjugation of right, or subjugation of liberty, everything to the state. That is called as the totalitarianism. Elitism is called the state should select the person who will exhibit with the quality, the intellectual quality and the physical abilities. राष्ट्र से मानको बाछि आवश्यक जा पाखरे तमरो मेंटल कैपेबिलिटी माते बुद्धि थिबो आ फिजिकल एबिलिटी थिबो. The state should select the person. The fascism did not believe upon any bi-party or any multi-party system, but it believed upon which one? That is called as that the single-party systems. From a single party, if there will be the single party, there will be no vote, no elections, no competitions, nothing else. The person will come according to which one? According to their positions, according to their not appearance, according to their merit. लोक केमिति आसीबे ताके निजर निजर they are not selected. They will what? The death of one person will definitely welcome to the another. जणे मला परे जणे आसे मरिया पूर्व आमे डिसाइड करिवा हमर नवीन पटनायक गला परे कि हमर सीट रे आसीबो. So this is what, this is just like in Odisha, the BJD is a single party. तमे जानि छ there will be no, there is no competitor in Odisha. BJD रो भारतीय जनता दल रो कोन कंप्यूटर अछि ओडिसा रे नाइ. So this is what, this is a single party system. In Odisha there is a नवीन पार्टी, नवीन पटनायक माले कि आसीबो पार्टी हमर टेंशन चलियो. So we have to choose one person from that party, the person who possesses that much of quality of intellectual quality and what, the physical capability, strength थिबा पड़िबो, vigor थिबा पड़िबो, knowledge थिबा पड़िबो. So this feature is called as the fascism features. And absolute leadership तुमको बुझेली और organic concept of state मध्ये तुमको बुझेली. Then there are two things are there. One is called as the merit of fascism and second one is called as the demerit of the fascism. What doubt अछि रे भितरे अछि नाही तो? So in the merit of the fascism is an ideology which cover the new conception of civic and political life. It gives a new conception to the civic and the political life. What is the new conception of the civic and the political life? And it gives a beginning of a new culture. The fascism is an ideology which gives the new conception of political life and the beginning of a new culture. What do you mean by the beginning of a new culture? The first thing is called as that it gives the individuals the way to how to live, how to enjoy the political system and how to enjoy a new culture. ए जो फासिस्ट गोटे आइडिया जोटा कि लोक मानक मध्यरे गोटे सामाजिक चेतना, राजनैतिक चेतना आ गोटे नुआ संस्कृति को जे जागृत कराइथिला. आगरे कोन होइतिला, देयर आर डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ द ट्रेडिशनल कल्चर्स आर देयर, बट फासिस्ट आइडियोलॉजी गिव्स अ न्यू कल्चर्स. Okay, it gives a person's the civil life, a new civil life. In that life, what will happen? The person has no personal right and no personal liberty. And the third is that the political life. It gives the individual the political awareness, but the individual cannot what the individual cannot practice his political your the knowledge the individual ର ସବୁ ପ୍ରକାର awareness ଥିବ individual ଜାଣୁଥିବ କୋଉଟା ଭୁଲ କୋଉଟା ଠିକ କିନ୍ତୁ individual ତାକୁ practice କରିପାରିବ ନାହିଁ individual କୋଉଠି apply କରିପାରିବ ନାହିଁ he will not practice he will not apply. So this is what this is called as that the civil and the political life of the what it provides a new conception in the civil, political, and cultural life of the cultural life in the society. Then when fascism arose, democracy failed. This is also a merit point because in the world, in the whole world, out of every country, no one believe upon the democracy because they says that the democracy always gives the lost leaders it provides the or it what it build the leader who are not fit for the state लोक विश्वास करती कौन ना डेमोक्रेसी से माने कौन करे माने जगाए जो लोगों पाखे प्रकृत क्षेत्र में कौन प्रकार नॉलेज न थाए. So this is what through the fascist idea, the new persons, the knowledgeable persons, the intellectual persons. So if they what will happen? ସେମାନେ କଣ କଲେ ନା they will conquer the whole world through the fascist idea. ଯଦି ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକ fascist ଥିବ ତମର ବେନିଟो ହିଟଲର though he is a ଦରଫ ମାନେ ସେ ଗୋଟେ ବାଙ୍ଗରା ଥିଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ that much of ability that much of quality ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ପର୍ଯ୍ୟନ୍ତ କାହା ପାଖରେ ସେଟା ନାହିଁ କିମ୍ବା ତମର ବେନିଟो ମୁସୋଲିନି जो प्रकार तमर इटाली रे जो तमर बेनिटो मुसोलिनी जो प्रकार तम आइडिया देथिला जो तमर डिप्लोमेट्स आइडिया थिला वर्तमान पर्यंत एमिति कोनोसी तमर एक्सटर्नल अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर अछि जा पाखरे से आइडिया तमर अछि. So those persons are always what they should be worshipped. ସେମାନେ ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ଭାବରେ ସେମାନେ କଣ କରନ୍ତି ନା ପୂଜା ପାଇବା ପାଇଁ ସେମାନେ ଯୋଗ୍ୟ. Okay, then the next one that is called as that it made conscious to the people about the vice of democracy and the liberalisms. It made conscious to the people about the vice of democracy and liberalism. Through the fascist idea, the people know about what the demerits of democracy and liberalism. Fascist idea जो लोक माने कौन बोले डेमोक्रेसी रो कौन डिमेरिट अच्छी और लिबरलिज्म रो कौन डिमेरिट अच्छी कना आराम रे से माने बुझिया को पाले. It is an appeal to the people to sacrifice for the greater benefit of the state. The fascist ideology, the first ideology is the first ideology where people know that the community sacrifice is greater than the individual sacrifice. Individual sacrifice टा आवश्यक ना किंतु राष्ट्र उन्नति पाई व्यक्तिर स्वार्थ को आमे कौन करिमा हमको सैक्रिफाइस बा जलांजलि देबा को निहाती आवश्यक. So it is an appeal, it appeal to the people to sacrifice their own selfish interest and they will work for the benefit of the society. So it is an appeal to the people to sacrifice for the greater benefit of the state. Then the next one is called as that the fascist ideology put emphasis upon the duty, discipline, and devotions. Three things are there: the actions, the duty, the discipline, and devotion. If a person has no discipline, fascist believe करतुला जदि गोटे लोकर discipline बोली किछि नाही तले से लोक केबेले व्यक्ति पदवाच्य नाही. जेमिति आमे देखुछ if a person is a disorder in his behavior गोटे लोक जानि नथिवो how to behave, how to work, how to sleep, and how to work, then the person is not a disciplined person. If a person is wake up at the 4 a.m. in the morning and complete his whole work in the 9 p.m. in the evening, then what will happen? He will be a disciplined person because what will happen? He will do many things for the society. He can do. किंतु जदि गोटे indisciplined person थिबो not only in his behavior but also in every aspect he will be betrayed from the society. So कोनोसी भी aspect ताको society लोक केबेले पसंद करि परिबे नाही. So the duty is the foremost thing for every individuals. Then devotions means what? That is called as what? The तमो जो कहउछंदी माने कोन गोटे दिनचो को तमे डिवोट करिया माने कोन कहबी रे ओडिया देखो माने पूजा करला बेला devotions, that is एकाग्रता. Okay, so these things are called as that the merit of what? That is called as the fascism. And the next one that is called as the demerit of the fascism. In the demerit of the fascism, with the fascism has many demerits are there. As it is not believe upon the what that is called as that the international organizations, it believes upon the militarism. So that is the greatest demerits the militarisms, the imperialism, and war. So you may ask me, ma'am, what do you mean by imperialism? Imperialism means what? That is called as the annexions of territory from one to another. ତମର ଯେତେବେଳେ ସାମ୍ରାଜ୍ୟବାଦ ମାନେ ଗୋଟେ ରାଷ୍ଟ୍ରକୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ବଢିବାକୁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରିବ, that is called as that imperialisms. The policy of imperialism. ଯଦି ତମ ରାଷ୍ଟ୍ରକୁ ବଢେଇ ବଢେଇ ଯାଉଛ, ତୁମେ ବଢେଇ ବଢେଇ କେମିତି ଯିବ? ତମ କଣ ଖୁସିରେ ଡାକି ଡାକି ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ରାଷ୍ଟ୍ର କଣ ଇଣ୍ଡିଆ ନେପାଳରେ ମିଶିଲା, ପାକିସ୍ତାନରେ ମିଶିଲା, ଆଉ ତମର କେମିତି? Through the war, through the policy of militarism ଆମେ ଯୁଦ୍ଧ କଲେ किंवा हमें आर्मी थ्रू रे ताको कंट्रोल करे. So that is what? That is the policy of imperial. That is nothing but it is called as the annexation of territory. Territory को बढ़ेवा को, that is the other name of what? That is called the name of imperialism. So it is the greatest demerit. The believing upon what? The international organization should be there who will revoke every war. But the fascism does not believe upon this type of what? The means to make the peaceful coexistence in between the two nations. Then it preaches the gospel of nationalism and imperialistic expansionism. It says that nationalism is what? Thinking what? The thinking about the policy of oneness. तो हमें निजे गोटे बोली भाबियो, that is the policy of the what? That is called as the nationalism. But fascism does not believe upon the policy of the nationalism, but it believes upon the policy of what? It believes upon imperialistic expansionism. Whatever may be the unity or disunity will be there, but the nation should believe upon the imperialism or imperialistic expansionism. Then the third one is called as that it justified violence and opposed the peace. It always says that war against the war. There will not be any type of the peaceful arbitrations, peaceful coexistence, any type of the negotiation, any type of treaty will be there in between two nations. फासिज्म गोटे आइडिया थिला जो आइडिया को पीस को केबेले बिलीव कर नथिला, ट्रीटी को बिलीव कर नथिला, कॉन्सिलिएशंस को बिलीव कर नथिला, कोन जिंस को इट ऑलवेज बिलीव अपॉन व्हिच वन? वायलेंस. वायलेंस काहे बिलीव करथला? सी कहथला जे तुम गोटे लोक को डरे के रखिबो ताले कोन हबो? अन्य नेशंस केबेले तुमको कोन अटैक करि परिबे नाही. तमरो गोटे डरडा अन्य मानक तम प्रति डरडा थिबा निहाती आवश्यक. So this is what? This is the policy of the violence. So this is the greatest demerit. But sometimes what will happen? The thing can be rectified through the policy of what? Through the policy of the negotiations. If there will be the war in between the two nations, then the thing can be rectified. And आराम रे सेटा ठीक हे परियो का द्वारा तमरो ट्रीटी द्वारा, एग्रीमेंट द्वारा, कॉन्सिलिएशंस द्वारा बहुत जिंस अछि जो द्वारा को गोटे नेशंस रे कोन होई परिबो तमरा आराम रे वार टा को न हेबा को देबे. किंतु से कोन कोन नाही वार जदी के वार डिक्लेयर कला हमें संगे संगे वार टा दे, कारण वी आर हैविंग द पॉलिसी ऑफ व्हाट? दैट इज कॉल्ड द पॉलिसी ऑफ एक्सपांशनिज्म. Then the next one, it paves the way for ruthless dictatorship has been criticized. It paves the way for ruthless dictatorship has been criticized at a wrongly लिखि देछि has been criticized आ रही बोली. It paves the way for ruthless dictatorship. ये गोटे जिंस कला जोड़ा कि तमरो डिक्टेटरशिप पे रास्ता बतेला. Fascism is a policy which provides the way for the establishment of the dictatorship. Dictatorship means what? The person who dictates, the person who does not accept the what? The information of another person, or the council, not information in exertion, that is called as the council of another person. That is called as a dictator. If a person dictate to another one, dictate means what? Giving order. The order may be the negative or the positive order, but the person will not receive the counsel of the fellow workers. That person is called as a dictator. बेले बेले हमें देखुवा घरे जेतलो बाबा जेतलो गोटे टाण सुरटे कथा आशा करंती हमें कोन करिया कोन अग्निपत्र अमिताभ बच्चन घर भीतर. So that is called what? That is called the policy of dictator. जेतलो गोटे person का विश्वत कथा माने काहार कथा को जेतलो रिसीव करे. So it created the idea of what? The policy of dictator. The dictator is a ruthless dictator, valueless dictator. It sacrifices individual on the altar of the state. See, there is no requirement of individual development. There will not any type of requirement for the individual development, and the individual should sacrifice everything for the welfare of the state. Then there is too much emphasis on violence and war. मोटा पढ़ेली तुमको जोटी के emphasis war और violence ऊपर दे देला. Then the next one, it does not accept the liberty and the free government. Liberty in the sense to the individual, in the sense to the society, societal liberty, individual liberty. Se accept kolani. Free government. Free government means what? The government that is a what? That can be at any time it can be changed. How the government will be changed? Through the system of party. So it does not accept as it believes upon the single party system. So it does not believe upon which one that is called as free government. Then the use of force in the settlement of dispute. If any type of dispute is there, then apply the force to settle the dispute. That is the main demerit of the fascists. So over, your class is over. If you are having any doubt, without liberating the if you are having any doubt, then student, then ask me how was my class, तुमको ठीक लगिला ना स्पीड लगिला, you will give your feedback. Okay, obviously ମୁଁ ତ ବହୁତ ମୁଁ ଏନ୍ଥୁସିଆସଲି ତମର ଫିଡବ୍ୟାକ୍ କୁ ସବୁବେଳେ ୱେଟ୍ କରେ, ତମକୁ ଠିକ୍ ଲାଗିଲେ ନ ଲାଗିବେ ମୁଁ ନେକ୍ସଟ ଟାଇମ୍ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ କୁ ଆଉ ଟିକେ ଡେଭଲପ୍ କରିବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରେ. So if I am having any type of the drawbacks in my class, then give your feedback. Okay, କିଛି problem ନାହିଁ. If you are having any negative remarks, then you can also give the negative remarks. Okay, liberalism. अच्छा ତମେ ବୁଝିଲନି କଳ୍ପନା ଦାସ. अच्छा तुमको लिबरलिज्म बुझा पड़िलानी, लिबरलिज्म बुझा पड़ला ना एंटी लिबरलिज्म बुझा पड़लानी. लिबरलिज्म पोस्ट लेक्चर थिला रेडा एंटी लिबरलिज्म बुझा पड़लानी ना. मैम प्लीज रिपीट द एंटी लिबरल एटा बुझा पड़लानी एंटी लिबरलिज्म. अच्छा एंटी लिबरलिज्म रो अर्थ होला कोन? द आइडिया that is against the liberalism, that is called as anti-liberalism. Liberalism कहले कौन बुझुचो? Liberalism कहले कौन बुझुचो ना liberty related to आमे काहा को liberty दे दोचे? Individual को liberty दोचे. We are providing liberty to whom? To the individual. Okay, we are providing liberty to the individual to why providing the individual to the individual? Because we have a democracy state. आमर जेहेतु गोटे डेमोक्रेटिक स्टेट अच्छी, डेमोक्रेटिक स्टेट आमर कौन होची ना जति गोटे इंडिविजुअल को वी आर नॉट प्रोवाइडिंग द लिबर्टी, आम जति इंडिविजुअल को लिबर्टी देबा नाइ इंडिविजुअल, बिकॉज वी नो दैट वी आर हैविंग ए गवर्नमेंट बाय द पीपल ऑफ द पीपल एंड फॉर द पीपल. जो गवर्नमेंट आमर सरकार अच्छी सेटा लोक मानकर लोक मानक द्वारा लोक मानक पाई. So we have to select the ruler. We have to the ruler is for us. जो ruler को हमें बाचुचे से ruler टा हम पाई रुए और हम मानक द्वारा ही से select हुए और हम मानक पाई ही काम करे. सेते लाइक we have to provide that much of liberty to the individual to select a person. That is called as what? To giving the liberty to the individual. So we are having different liberty. The liberty of thought, liberty of expression, liberty of speech. Okay, but fascist says that don't give that much of liberty to the individual. If the individual will freely express his view, if the individual freely expresses what the expressions and thought, then what will happen? That he will definitely goes against the state. जदि हम इंडिविजुअल को जिमि तमरो घरे तमे गोटे छुआ अछि, तमर बापा अछंती, तार ताको पुओ किमा झियो अछंती, आमे तमु कहबा तमु जदि मो कहि तमरो जहा इच्छा को मो अगेंस्ट तमे कोन करियो फेक नेम लेखिकि मो नारे कहबा आरंभ कर दो. So that is what a type of the restricted liberty should be there. गोटे डर थिबा आवश्यक. जदि मु कोन कहिबी ताले मैडम को खराब जेमि तमर कॉलेज रे तमर लोक मते कोन पय डरंती काले मु तांकर इंटरनल मार्क ता कमी दी परा. So this is what a type of fear should be there. जदि हमें तांको डायरेक्ट फ्री कर दवा नाइ तमर जोडा इच्छा को भल लोक को मध्य लोक माने सज माचरे मध्य लोक पोको पके देबे. So this is what fascists believe, that don't give that much of liberty of thought, that much of liberty of expression, that much of liberty of speech towards the individual. Then because it will definitely the state, the individual, definitely they will convert the state into a corrupt state. जो राष्ट्र हमर चली जो शासन हमर चली जे शासन को इंडिविजुअल कंपनी करप्ट कर दो, सेतले डोंट गिव एनी टाइप ऑफ लिबर्टी. That is called as the anti-liberalism. They are believing upon the anti-liberalism thought. Ma'am, please repeat the second demerit of fascism. Demerit of fascism. It preaches the gospel of nationalism. Gospel of nationalism. Nationalism. Gospel कहले कौन बुझुछ? Merit of nationalism and imperialistic expansionism. Gospel of national. तमर जो nationalism जो जातीयतावाद जो अछि, जातीयतावाद कहले कौन बुझुछ? We have to work for the nation. So that is what that it preaches the gospel of nationalism. We are having the unity among us, and we have the we are united in order to expand our territory, in our expand our state. ଆମର ଗୋଟେ ଅବଜେକ୍ଟିଭ ହେବା ଆବଶ୍ୟକ। ଆମର ଅବଜେକ୍ଟିଭ କ'ଣ? ଆମ ରାଷ୍ଟ୍ରକୁ ଆମେ କେମିତି ବଢେଇବା। that is called as that the imperialistic expansionist idea. So it preaches the gospel of nation. ଜାତୀୟତାବାଦକୁ ସେ ବଢେଇକିରି କ'ଣ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରେ ନା ତମର ସାମ୍ରାଜ୍ୟବାଦ, ତମର ସାମ୍ରାଜ୍ୟବାଦୀକରଣକୁ ସେ ଆଉ ଟିକେ ଆଗକୁ ନେବାକୁ ଚେଷ୍ଟା କରେ। ଆଚ୍ଛା ତମେ ସମସ୍ତେ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ମିଳିଲା ତ ତମକୁ ପୂର୍ବ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଯାକର ରାଇଟ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଫାସିଜିମ୍ ମ୍ୟାମ୍ ଏଇଟା ପରା କହିବେ ବୋଲି କହିଥିଲି, କହିଲି ପରା ରେ ରାଇଟ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଫାସିଜିମ୍ଟା। ଦେଖ ରାଇଟ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଫାସିଜିମ୍ ପଢେଇଲି ପରା। ତମର ରାଇଟ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଫାସିଜିମ୍ କ'ଣ ଥିଲା? ରାଇଟ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଫାସିଜିମ୍ସରେ କ'ଣ ଥିଲା ନା ଫାସିଜିମ୍ର ତମର କେମିତି ରାଇଜ୍ ହେଲା। ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ହେଲା କ'ଣ? ଫେଲିୟର ଅଫ୍ ଡେମୋକ୍ରେସି। କୋଉଥିପାଇଁ ହେଲା? ଡେମୋକ୍ରେସି ସବୁଆଡ଼େ ଦେଖାଗଲା ଡେମୋକ୍ରେସିର ଫେଲିୟର ହେଇଗଲା। ଡେମୋକ୍ରେସି କୋଉଠି ସକ୍ସେସଫୁଲ ହେଲା ନାହିଁ। ଲୋକମାନେ ଦେଖିଲେ ଯେ ଗୋଟେ କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିକୁ ଯଦି ଆମେ ମାନେ ଯଦି କଣ୍ଟ୍ରିକୁ ଯଦି ଆଗକୁ ନିଆ, ଦେନ୍ ଦ ରାଇଟ୍ ଚଏସ୍ ଇଜ୍ ଦ୍ୟାଟ୍ ନଟ୍ ଦ ଡେମୋକ୍ରେସି। ସୋ ଦେ ୱାଣ୍ଟ ଟୁ ଚେଞ୍ଜ ଦ ଡେମୋକ୍ରେସି and they want to change the rule towards the fascisms. So by which there is the rise of the fascism idea. Second hochi kono na the country have that much of raw material, that much of the capital to boost up the idea of fascism. So fascism idea ko ଅଧିକ କରିବା ପାଇଁ country ପାଖରେ that much of material ବା ତାର raw material ଯାକ ତାର ଥିଲା। So that is the main cause of what? That the rise of the fascisms. ଆଉ ଯୋଉ ବିଟ୍ରେଲ୍ କରାଯାଇଥିଲା ଜର୍ମାନୀ ଇଟାଲୀକୁ, ଯୋଉ ବିଟ୍ରେଲ୍ ହେଇଥିଲା ତମର ଫାର୍ଷ୍ଟ ୱାର୍ଲଡ ୱାର୍ ପରେ ଯୋଉ ବିଟ୍ରେଲ୍ ହେଇଗଲା, ସେ ବିଟ୍ରେଲ୍ର ମେନ୍ ଜିନିଷ ମଧ୍ୟ ଥିଲା ତ ରାଇଜ୍ ଅଫ୍ ଦ ଫାସିଜିମ୍ ତାର ଥିଲା। ସେଇଠି କ'ଣ ହଉଥିଲେ ମୁସୋଲିନି କ'ଣ ଥିଲେ ଦେଖିଲେ ନା ଯଦି ମୁଁ ଏମିତି ଗୋଟେ ଆଇଡିଆ ଦେବି ଯାହାଫଳରେ କ'ଣ ହବ, we can conquer the whole world. So in between the first to the second world war, there is the period of war which one they applied the theory of the fascism first in the Italy, then after in the Germany. Okay, Germany तमरा हिटलर आ तुम हिटलर तुम बेनिटो मुसोलिनी ए आइडिया ऑफ द फैसिज्म को से तमरा अप्लाई करते। अच्छा स्टूडेंट तुमको स्लाइड सब मो क्लास सरला परे मो सर को स्लाइड सब हैंड ओवर करूची। अच्छा तमर जदी क्वेश्चंस आसीबो एग्जाम रे जनरली तमर क्वेश्चंस आसे व्हाट डू यू मीन बाय फैसिज्म्स, ओके, एंड व्हाट आर द प्रिंसिपल्स ऑफ फैसिज्म्स। ओके दीटा जिंस आसीबो को what are the principles of fascism. Principles of fascism रे तमरो मेन जिंस होची तमरो ए जिंस लिखि देबो जोडा कि तमरो फीचर्स और तमरो जेनेसिस ऑफ fascisms. ओके फीचर्स गोटे रहला आ गोटे तमरो जेनेसिस ऑफ fascisms जोडा कि तमरो फीचर्स रे तमरो प्रिंसिपल्स रहला जोडा कि ऊपर तमरो प्रिंसिपल टा बेस कला। तो जनरली जो इरेशनलिज्म कहले कोन बुझुछो, तमरो बिलीव ऑन मैटर नॉट ऑन आइडियाज, दैट इज कॉल्ड एज इरेशनलिज्म। तापरे रेशियलिज्म तम बोझेली मेरिंग द हायर कास्ट टू द हायर कास्ट। तापरे हिटलर्स आइडियाज टोटलिटेरियनिज्म। तापरे इलेटिज्म्स ए सब जिंस गुडा तार प्रिंसिपल्स थिला तार फीचर्स तक थिला। ओके और लेक्चर मेम वर्ल्ड पॉलिटिक्स रे फैसिज्म रो उत्पत्ति इंसिडेंट थिला की परे कोन रे बुझी पालिनी तम क्वेश्चन की परे कोन मेम वर्ल्ड पॉलिटिक्स रे फैसिज्म रो उत्पत्ति इंसिडेंट तमे ओडिया रे परीक्षा दोछो के थिला की परे कोन ए जो तम लेखा हिची रे ओरिजिन्स ऑफ फैसिज्म राइज ऑफ फैसिज्म रा तो थिला सेटा होची तमरो वर्ल्ड पॉलिटिक्स रे फैसिज्म रो जो आइडिया थिला जोटा कि तमरो फर्स्ट और सेकंड वर्ल्ड वॉर मझरे तमरो हेतिला। ओके सेटा होची तमरो की परे ऑर्गेनिक कांसेप्ट ऑफ द स्टेट जोटा तमरो जो ऑर्गेनिक कांसेप्ट ऑफ द स्टेट तमरो हिगल करथिले द स्टेट इज द मार्च ऑफ गॉड ऑन अर्थ। ओके दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द organic concept of the state. It has been created by the Hitler. The state is the means not the end, the individual is the end. That has the called as the eta bodo concept ta tomro joda Hitler concept sorry tomro Hegel joda deithile tomro organic concept of the state mo aude class tomro ta ye tomro bodhe Hegel achi bodhe mate laguche mo aude class tomro details sibi ହେଲା ଏଇଟା ଟିକେ ବଡ଼ କନସେପ୍ଟଟା। ଆଉ କିଛି ଡାଉଟ୍ ଅଛି ଷ୍ଟୁଡେଣ୍ଟ ଅର୍ ଅଦରୱାଇଜ୍ ଆଇ ୱିଲ୍ ଲିଭ୍। ଆଉ କିଛି ଡାଉଟ୍ ଅଛି କି? କିଛି ଡାଉଟ୍ ଥିଲେ ଲେଖ। ଆଜି କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଠିକ୍ ଲାଗିଲା ନା ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟ ଲାଗିଲା ରେ ଜେନେରାଲି ଅନ୍ୟ କ୍ଲାସ୍‌ଠୁ? ଭଏସ୍ ବ୍ରେକ୍ ହେଇନି ତ? ଆଉ କିଛି ଡାଉଟ୍ ଅଛି ବୋଲେ ଲେଖ। ଲକ୍ଷ୍ମୀପ୍ରିୟା ପଣ୍ଡା ଠିକ୍ ଲାଗିଲା। ସବୁ ସବୁ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଇଜି ଲାଗେ କଳ୍ପନା? ମତେ ତ ମୋ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଯାହା ମତେ ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟ ଲାଗେ ପିଲାମାନେ ମତେ କୁହନ୍ତି ମ୍ୟାଡ଼ାମ୍ ଆମ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଯାକ 90% ୱାର୍ଡ଼ ଆପଣ ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟ ୟୁଜ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି। ସାର୍ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ସେଣ୍ଡ କରିବେ ପ୍ଲିଜ୍। ସାର୍ କରିବେନି ମୁଁ କରିବି। ମୁଁ କରିବି ତମେ ସାରଙ୍କଠୁ ନବ। ମୁଁ ଆଜି ଯଦି ଟାଇମ୍ ହେଲା ଆଜି କରିବି ନାଇଁ ଯଦି ଟାଇମ୍ ନହବ ମୁଁ ସାରଙ୍କୁ କାଲି ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ଦେବି। ଅନ୍ୟ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ଯାକ ତମେ ରାଜେଶ ପାଇସାରିଲଣି ନା? ଅନ୍ୟ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଅନ୍ୟ ଯୋଉ ପୂର୍ବ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ଯାକର ନା ଆଉ କଣ ଡାଉଟ୍ ଅଛି? ଅନ୍ୟ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ଯାକ ପାଇଲ ତ ସେ ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ଯାକ ତମେ ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ? ସ୍ଲାଇଡ୍ ଯାକ ଯୋଉ ମୁଁ ପଠେଇଛି ସେ ଯାକ ବୁଝିପାରୁଛ ମେନ୍ ଦ ୱେ ଅଫ୍ ୟୁର ଟିଚିଂ ଇଜ୍ ଭେରି ଟଚ୍। ଥ୍ୟାଙ୍କ ୟୁ ଲକ୍ଷ୍ମୀପ୍ରିୟା। କିନ୍ତୁ ମୋତେ ଲାଗୁଛି ତମକୁ ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟ ଲାଗୁଥିବ। ମୁଁ ଯେତେବେଳେ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ନିଏ କ୍ଲାସ୍ ନେଲା ପରେ ତମର ଇଗ୍ନୋର ଯୋଉ ମେଟେରିଆଲ୍ ଅଛି ସେ ମେଟେରିଆଲ୍ ଯାକ ଭିତରେ ଟିକେ ଗୋ ଥ୍ରୁ କର। ତମକୁ ଆରାମରେ ବୁଝିବ ଆଉ ତାର ଯୋଉ